The story begins at a high school, where our main character is taking a fitness test, but because of a serious illness in his childhood, his body had become very fragile. He couldn't do even basic physical exercises, like hanging from the bar for more than 8 seconds, doing a single push-up or sit-ups. His classmates often made fun of him, calling him a failure in gym class. Even the gym teacher couldn't help but sigh when he saw how badly Lyneshen performed. One day, Lyneshen received a package from the school's security guard, which his parents had sent. His illness had drained their savings and put them deep in debt, so his parents had to work far from home to try and pay it off. Inside the package was his favorite Godzilla action figure, along with an encouraging letter from his dad. His dad hoped he could be as strong and brave as Godzilla. Reading the letter, Lyneshen felt emotional. He wished he could be strong too, but it was so difficult. Just then, his classmates grabbed the Godzilla figure, mocking him for playing with childish toys and calling him unmanly. When Lyneshen tried to get it back, one of the kids threw the figure onto the road with a smug look. Lyneshen rushed to retrieve it, but just as he was about to pick it up, a speeding truck came straight at him. He was hit hard and fell to the ground, unconscious. When he woke up, Lyneshen found himself in the ocean, surrounded by sea creatures. He looked at his hand and then noticed a tail. He was completely confused. Was this the afterlife? Just then, a bright light appeared in front of him, and a voice spoke, announcing that he had regained consciousness and the monster sign evolution system had activated. The voice explained that Kun was the system, and Lyneshen was the ancient overlord from the classic of mountains and seas. The system displayed his new form. He was now a juvenile thunder dragon with a tyrant rank bloodline. He weighed 125 tons and stood 7.9 meters tall, with skills in charging, biting, and swinging his dragon tail. Lyneshen shook his tail and moved his claws to make sure this wasn't a dream, then signed into the system. The system congratulated him on his first successful sign-in and told him that by devouring food, he could earn evolution points. The first reward was the skill devour, and the system told him to keep eating so he wouldn't starve. Suddenly, his stomach growled. Feeling like he might starve, he noticed a light ahead. Many deep-sea creatures had glowing bodies, so he swam closer, hoping to find something to eat. As he got closer, he saw a deep-sea fish with sharp teeth, looking pretty terrifying. They stared at each other for a moment before the fish quickly swam away. The system mocked Lyneshen, saying that the fish was tiny and he had no reason to be afraid. Lyneshen smirked, then chased the fish and used his tail to hit it. The fish was quickly finished off. Lyneshen was shocked by his own strength, but the system reminded him that he was now much bigger and stronger. Looking at the ugly fish, Lyneshen didn't really want to eat it, but his hunger was stronger. He swallowed the fish whole. It was ugly, but surprisingly, it tasted pretty good. The system confirmed that he had successfully devoured the fish and earned evolution points. It also told him that he had unlocked a new ability, illumination, meaning his dorsal fin could now glow faintly. The system wasn't lying. Lyneshen really did gain a special ability in evolution points. His new illumination skill activated, and a bright light began glowing from the tip of his tail all the way up to his head. It was a pretty useful ability because it could attract creatures, so Lyneshen, now an eager baby monster, went on a devouring spree. The system kept sending notifications, and his evolution points skyrocketed. After devouring a deep-sea bear-alive fish, he got a new skill, night vision, similar to an owl's. He felt like he was eating more seafood than he ever had in his entire previous life. With 1,000 evolution points, he was ready to start evolving. He spent 300 points on reinforcing his scales, 200 on enhancing his claws, and 500 to increase his size. Now, he was almost a meter taller, looking much stronger. Becoming a 100-meter monster didn't feel like a distant dream anymore. Curious, Lyneshen asked the system if he was still on Earth. The system didn't answer directly, only telling him to explore. Annoyed, he grumbled, saying the system was being evasive and playing it like some exploration game. He figured that, since his location was the Mariana Trench, he was still on Earth, but for now, he knew he was too weak to make a big move. He needed to grow stronger in secret until he could reach the 100-meter mark. Then he'd show the world who was boss. His goals were set. He wanted to send the land of cherry blossoms into the sea and flatten the beautiful country. Lyneshen was feeling pretty ambitious, so he started another round of devouring. As long as he didn't die, he was going to keep eating. Just as he was about to finish another meal, something unexpected happened. A fish's eye opened slowly below him, and suddenly, a tentacle shot out and grabbed him. It was the giant squid, Architeuthis, one of the deep-sea overlords. Compared to it, Lyneshen was tiny, like an ant. Just when he thought he was done for, a huge shadow appeared above them. A sperm whale, another ocean overlord, swam over, and the squid let go of Lyneshen to face the whale instead. The squid used its 10 tentacles to hold the sperm whale down, and the two giants began fighting fiercely. As he watched, Lyneshen realized how small and weak he still was compared to these true ocean rulers. It hit him hard, and memories of being bullied in his past life came rushing back. He swore he would never back down again. He would become stronger and never let anyone bully him again. Determined, he charged charged at the squid and took a bite out of its flesh. The taste reminded him of raw cuttlefish. As he chewed, the system notified him he'd successfully devoured part of the squid, earning him plus 21 evolution points. That was a pretty big win for Lyneshen. He kept tearing at the squid's tentacles, feeling the evolution points pile up. The squid was in so much pain its eyes were rolling. Lyneshen couldn't help but feel a little smug, but soon, the squid let go of the whale and glared at him, anger in its eyes. Before Lyneshen knew it, the squid grabbed him again with its tentacles. He was frustrated now. Was it picking on him just because he was smaller? That really made him mad. He bit down hard on the squid's tentacle, launching another attack, yelling that he wasn't afraid of it anymore. He kept chewing on the squid's tentacles, determined to show it who was in charge. The squid started bubbling, clearly frustrated and preparing to fight back. The sperm whale gave Lyneshen a sly grin, and without warning, it bit down on the squid's head. Together, they worked as a team, Lyneshen attacking from below, while the whale attacked from above, leaving the squid no chance to fight back. In just a few moments, the giant squid was completely devoured. Afterward, the two monsters just floated lazily in the water, content and full, letting out satisfied belches. Lyneshen was surprised by the huge reward. He'd earned 3,000 evolution points for his part of the meal. Although Lyneshen only ate half of the squid, the points were a big boost. Then, the sperm whale gave him another look, this time with a playful expression. Lyneshen, annoyed, thought the whale might want to pick a fight. He angrily challenged it, asking if the whale thought it was better than him. But when the whale seemed to hesitate, remembering the spikes on Lynshen's back, Lynshen's anger only grew. He demanded a fight, but the whale just turned away with a disdainful look and swam off. Lyneshen shook his head, muttering that he'd let the whale go this time because it had helped him earlier. But now, he was ready to level up. He spent 500 evolution points on reinforcing his scales, another 500 on his claws, and 500 more on his fangs. Finally, he spent 1,500 points to grow bigger. After the upgrades, his physique was stronger than ever. He weighed 179 tons and stood 10 meters tall. His abilities now included the S+ rank Devour, the C-grade Illumination, and the E-grade Night Vision. Feeling a bit proud of himself, Lyneshen joked to himself about wanting a monster credit card to spend his points faster. He looked around for more giant squids, hoping to find one to get even bigger. If he could get another 50 evolution points, he could reach a 50-meter size, and then nothing, whether it was a giant squid or sperm whale, would stand in his way. The system then notified him that he'd earned a special reward, a monster compass. The system excitedly told him he had unlocked a skill that would allow him to detect the presence of monsters. With this new skill, he wouldn't have to worry about getting ambushed by any giant squids. He decided to turn off the light coming from his dorsal fin to stay hidden. Lyneshen swam toward the deep sea, where he spent the next few days waiting for the giant squid to stop hiding. He figured it would eventually come out, but for now, he decided to explore the shallow waters to find some other prey. A week later, his luck ran out. His stomach was growling from hunger, and the shallow waters had barely any large fish. Even the great white sharks couldn't satisfy him. Frustrated, Lyneshen decided to sign in to see if he could earn some evolution points. His location changed to the Abyss Island Sea area, and the system rewarded him with an S-tier skill, Burst Breath. This skill let him gather all the energy inside his body and unleash a devastating beam of light from his mouth. Lyneshen was thrilled. He knew this was going to be a game changer. Just then, the monster compass detected a bunch of monsters on a nearby island. It seemed uninhabited, so he made his way there, eager to find out what kind of creatures lived on the island. To his surprise, the island was home to some of the biggest flying insects ever, the Meganeura, along with the ancient centipedes. Lyneshen was overjoyed. This place felt like his own personal supermarket for evolution points, but his joy was short-lived. As he was preparing for a survival challenge on the island, a group of pterosaurs flew overhead, and one of them decided to attack him. Lyneshen wasn't having it. He knew he was being underestimated, so he quickly turned, bit into the pterosaur's wing, and yanked it down. It tasted surprisingly good, like crispy chicken. Lyneshen grinned, ready for whatever else the island had in store for him. After devouring the pterosaur, Lyneshen was feeling a bit tired of seafood. He was ready for something different, so he decided to try out his new Burst Breath skill. As he prepared to unleash it, his dorsal fin lit up. The pterosaurs, noticing his stance, quickly backed away in fear. Lyneshen fired the burst, but when he saw the small flame that came out of his mouth, he was stunned. It was more like a tiny spark than the powerful attack he expected. The pterosaurs, feeling insulted, got ready to attack him instead. Lyneshen nervously backed off, asking what the deal was with his burst breath. The system, sounding a bit annoyed, explained that he wasn't focusing enough to use the skill properly. It told him to focus his energy and channel it through his body before releasing it through his mouth. Lyneshen was confused, asking if this was some kind of cultivation technique, like the ones from the novels he'd read. He begged the system to teach him properly so he wouldn't get attacked by these chicken nuggets. The system insisted it had already given him the method, telling him to concentrate and gather all his strength into one point. Just as Lyneshen was trying to follow these instructions, the pterosaurs attacked. They were pecking at him relentlessly, and he was feeling like a total failure. In that moment, memories of being bullied in his past life flooded back to him. He'd been surrounded and beaten before, but he'd managed to break free by focusing all his strength on one person. Now he knew what to do. He told himself to forget the pain and focus on gathering all his energy into his mouth. He aimed, took a deep breath, and released the burst breath. The strike hit the pterosaurs directly, and the shockwave was so powerful it even shook the nearby hill. Smoke billowed from Lyneshen's mouth as he looked on in awe, realizing that the attack had worked. He couldn't believe how much power he'd just unleashed, but it came at a cost. Using all that energy left him feeling completely drained, as if every bit of strength had been squeezed out of him. His stomach growled. He needed food, and fast. When he looked at the pterosaurs lying around, he saw they were all burned to a crisp. Feeling a little guilty, he knew he had to eat them to replenish his energy. After devouring the charred pterosaurs, Lyneshen felt his mouth go dry from all the charcoal. He looked around for a water source and soon spotted a lake below the hill that had just been hit by his attack, but something didn't seem right. There was no sign of animals near the lake, and it was unusually quiet. Lynshen's instincts told him there might be something dangerous lurking there. Suddenly, the small island in the middle of the lake began to move. Lynshen was shocked when a huge ox-like creature emerged from the water. It was the mountain giant ox, known for living in lakes and rivers, and capable of staying submerged for days. Its hard, bony back camouflaged it perfectly, making it look like part of the island itself. Before Lynshen could react, a crocodile lunged at the ox's hind leg, followed by several more crocodiles emerging from the water. These weren't just any crocodiles, they were king crocodiles, massive creatures from the Cretaceous period. They surrounded the mountain giant ox, starting an intense conflict with it. Lynshen could only watch as the ancient beasts clashed. The water turned chaotic as the mountain giant ox let out desperate cries. Soon, everything quieted down, and all that remained were the stark white bones of the ox. The king crocodiles, having noticed Lynshen on the shore, now turned their attention to him. It was clear why no animals dared to drink here. This group of monsters controlled the area, and from the looks of it, they wanted to challenge Lynshen. He decided it was time to show them who was boss. Just as one of the king crocodiles lunged at him, something unexpected happened. A massive hand appeared from the hillside, grabbed the crocodile's tail, and yanked it away, leaving only bloodstains on the mountain. Lynshen froze, his heart racing. What kind of monster is that? He thought, feeling a chill run down his spine. A loud roar followed, and then a giant figure burst out, stomping on the king crocodile's head. It was an ancient ape, and it wasted no time in crushing the crocs in the water beneath it. Then, it grabbed one of them, devoured it, and turned to Lynshen with a fierce look. The ape roared again, making its intentions clear. Lynshen, a little taken aback, waved his hand and tried to show he wasn't a threat, smiling nervously. But in the animal kingdom, that wasn't the right move. Gorillas, he quickly realized, only smile when they're scared or nervous. It's their way of showing aggression, or in this case, challenging another gorilla. The ancient ape misunderstood Lynshen's gesture, thinking he was mocking it. Enraged, it slammed its chest and charged toward him, ready to teach him a lesson. Lynshen didn't have time to process what had happened. The ape came at him with full force, throwing punches that he barely managed to dodge. While the ape was strong, Lynshen noticed it was a bit predictable. Every time it attacked, it left itself wide open. He saw an opportunity and moved fast, dodging its punch and biting down on its arm, throwing the ape off balance. He followed up with a tail whip, knocking the ape's legs out from under it. Lynshen prepared for a strong uppercut, but then he realized something important. His arms were too short. He couldn't reach the ape's head, and before he could adjust, the ancient ape lunged at him, sending him flying through the air. He crashed hard into the ground, feeling the sting of the impact. He was in trouble. This creature was much stronger and faster than he was. As the ape leapt at him again, Lynshen knew he needed to think of something quick. The only chance he had was to use his burst breath, but that would take time to charge, and if he missed, he would be in serious trouble. Desperate, Lynshen bit down on the ape's arm, holding on tightly, even as it slapped at him in frustration. After a while, his strength started to fade, and the ape managed to pry his mouth open. Suddenly, something strange happened. Blue light surged from Lynshen's mouth, and he felt a jolt, like electricity flowing through him. The ancient ape immediately jumped back, sensing the danger, but it wasn't quick enough. Lynshen had anticipated its move and used his tail to wrap it up, stopping it from escaping. He yelled, "You're not going anywhere!" and unleashed the full power of his burst breath. The force of the blast sent the ape flying, but despite the massive impact, the ape was still standing. Lynshen was impressed by the ape's toughness, though frustrated that his burst breath hadn't finished it off. This thing's built like a tank, he thought. After the ancient ape fled, Lynshen felt a wave of exhaustion hit him. He had used burst breath earlier, and it had drained him. But with the king crocodile still nearby, he couldn't show weakness. He couldn't let them sense his vulnerability. He didn't want to end up like the mountain giant ox. So, Lynshen quickly picked up the crocodile carcasses around him and started devouring them. He was taking what was left over, but with such confidence that it felt like a show of power. Who else could do this, he thought. The system congratulated him on his first devouring of a king crocodile and rewarded him with scales strengthening, which boosted his defense. Now feeling a little stronger, Lyneshen felt ready to take on more challenges. As he walked toward the remaining crocodiles, they quickly scattered in fear. It didn't take long for him to realize that he was truly in control of Abyss Island now. A week later, after improving his burst breath, Lyneshen felt like he had leveled up. He wanted to sign in and see what new rewards he could get. His location, Abyss Island. The sign-in reward was an A-class skill, Radioactive Heat Ray. This new skill, a version of his burst breath, was even more powerful, created from the reaction of gases inside a Thunder T-Rex. It would release a superheated mist from his mouth, a devastating beam that was even stronger than before. Lyneshen couldn't believe his luck. He had gained so many skills in such a short time. First burst breath, then an upgraded monster compass, thorn armor, and now the radioactive heat ray. He joked that even Knife 9999 wouldn't be able to compete with his skill rewards. As he was celebrating, a small prehistoric giant rat ran over. Lyneshen had named it Little Tangerine. The rat had a great sense of smell and always appeared when there was grilled meat to be had. Lyneshen liked to share a piece with it because it reminded him of his humble beginnings back when he was weaker. Now Lyneshen was no longer a small creature. He had grown to 51 meters tall and weighed over 13,000 tons. With all the skills he had, he felt confident that he could take on the ancient ape again, maybe even recruit it as an ally. He decided to evolve further, pouring all his evolution points into his body build. A flash of light surrounded him, and he eagerly waited to see how much he would grow. But when the light faded, he saw only a half-meter increase. Frustrated, he realized that the higher his level, the more evolution points it would take for each growth spurt. He thought, at this rate, it'll take years to become a 100-meter monster. But for now, he decided not to dwell on that. His goal was to track down the ancient ape and make it his ally. After searching around, he found a piece of hair from the ancient ape left over from their last battle. Lyneshen used this to have Little Tangerine sniff it out, promising the rat a year's worth of roasted beef if it helped him. With the rat's guidance, Lyneshen headed toward the ape's den. As Lyneshen walked away, the island's primitive inhabitants held a strange farewell ceremony for him. They cheered, banging gongs and drums, clearly happy to see the god of the plague leave. They were relieved, thinking he'd eaten up all their families and probably wouldn't come back. Lyneshen just chuckled and thought to himself, I'm not here to destroy. I'm just here to recruit a buddy. Little Tangerine led Lyneshen to a desolate part of the island, where a creepy, ominous aura filled the air. Lyneshen raised an eyebrow. Are you sure it's here? He asked the rat. This doesn't look like the kind of place the ancient ape would live. He also noticed that his monster compass wasn't picking up any energy from the ancient ape. Something felt off. Lyneshen walked with Little Tangerine toward the cave, trying to comfort the little rat, which was clearly nervous. It was trembling, and Lyneshen couldn't help but wonder what kind of monster could be hiding in there. Don't worry, I've got you, he reassured it. What's there to be afraid of? But as they entered the cave, a foul stench hit him, and his monster compass still wasn't detecting anything. It was strange, no sign of any creatures. A bit deeper into the cave, Lyneshen heard a roar echoing from inside, but it didn't sound like the ancient ape. Curious, he decided to sneak a bit closer and take a look. The cave had cobwebs hanging from the ceiling, and there were strange monster eggs scattered on the floor. It looked like a spider's den, but something else caught his eye. A beautiful woman trapped in the cave. The system suddenly chimed in with some unexpected information. The ape possesses the bloodline of the ancient fierce beast from the classic of mountains and rivers. After eating something unusual, it transformed into a human form. Lyneshen was stunned. Wait, is this the ancient ape? How did it turn into a human, and a woman at that? The woman seemed just as surprised to see him. Lyneshen crouched down, confused, and asked, You used to be about the same size as me. How did you get so small? The woman stuttered, clearly taken aback. It's you! What are you doing here? Lyneshen chuckled and jokingly said, Did the ancient ape refine itself into a little goblin? But before they could say more, the woman suddenly yelled, Watch out! Look around! Lyneshen looked up just in time to see a bunch of ugly creatures crawling down from the cave ceiling. One of them, with a giant mouth, lunged straight at him. Without hesitation, he grabbed it with one hand. The system helpfully identified it as a dead rotten reptile, a huge monster from the classic of mountains and rivers. These creatures were the overlords of the underground world on Abyss Island, and the ancient ape's biggest enemies. The dead rotten reptile tried to bite Lynshen's arm, but he squeezed it tightly until it burst. You dare bite me? He muttered, disgusted as his palm was covered in foul liquid. The other creatures, enraged, surrounded him and lunged at him with their sharp fangs. Lyneshen stomped on the ground and yelled, Get away, you disgusting reptiles! But there were too many of them. Some even climbed onto his back, biting into his spikes. Lyneshen wasn't worried though. His defense was top-notch. As they gnawed on him, he could feel their teeth shattering against his scales. "What do you think you're doing, huh?" he thought. "Let me show you what happens when you mess with me." He activated thorn armor, and instantly the creatures on his back were turned into a spiky mess. The woman watched in awe as Lyneshen took care of the monsters with ease, but as she looked closer, she grimaced at the disgusting liquid all over his back. Lyneshen could see that his image in her eyes had taken a bit of a hit, but before he could dwell on it, the dead, rotten reptiles shifted their attention to her. They lunged at her, ready to drag her away. Lyneshen wasn't having any of it. He stomped forward and crushed them into the ground. "With me here, who dares to hurt her?" he said, his voice full of confidence. The creatures hesitated, clearly intimidated, but one of them made a move to escape, thinking it could flee. Lyneshen wasn't having that either. "Did I say you could leave?" he shouted, then unleashed a radioactive heat ray at the retreating creatures. The blast hit them squarely, turning them into ash in seconds. With the smell of cooked meat filling the air, Lyneshen gave the little ape girl a reassuring heart sign with his fingers, letting her know that he would protect her. He then carefully used his claws to cut the ropes binding her arms, and she quickly freed herself. Once she was free, he cleared his throat and asked how she'd transformed into a human. The ape girl hesitated, then backed away a little, searching for something. She grabbed a large bone and smashed it against a rock. Lyneshen immediately thought she was getting ready to fight, so he quickly reassured her. "Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. I don't bully women." But instead of a weapon, she broke the rock open and pulled out a leftover fruit core. She stuttered as she explained that eating the fruit was what turned her into a human. Lyneshen was shocked. "You turned into a human from eating that? Is this some kind of legendary devil fruit or a transforming pill?" He couldn't believe it. To get on her good side, he decided to impress her by cooking something. "Watch what I can do for you," he said, gathering some firewood into a small pile, then using his burnt breath to light it up. Even though he was cooking a dead, rotten reptile, which was disgusting to him, Lyneshen did it for the sake of impressing the girl and earning evolution points. As the meat roasted, the ape girl started to drool, and Lyneshen handed her and little Tangerine a skewer of the roasted meat. They both dug in eagerly. "How's it taste? Pretty good, right?" "This is called a skewer," Lyneshen asked with a grin. While they ate, he asked the ape girl if she could change back into her original form. "If you turned back into the ancient ape earlier, you wouldn't have had to deal with those reptiles." The ape girl shook her head. "I can't change back," she said. Lyneshen was baffled. It seemed like she was taking it pretty easy, even though she was in a dangerous situation. He thought to himself that if she hadn't met him, she'd probably have been eaten by now. Curious, Lyneshen asked the system if there was any way to help her revert to her original form. The system confidently responded, "Of course I can. I just need to analyze the fruit and modify it so she can return to her original form. And even better, after the modification, she could switch freely between human and ape form." Excited by the possibilities, Lyneshen couldn't help but wonder if he too could switch between human and monster forms. He imagined reuniting with his family in the human world. Eager to help the girl, he asked her where she had found the fruit. The ape girl stuttered, "Cliff pile of bones." Lyneshen thought about it for a moment, then shoved the skewer into his mouth. As he devoured it, the system rewarded him with evolution points. "Nice, 20,000 evolution points. This is great," he thought, smiling. Even though he was in a different world and couldn't meet his family, he figured that if he became human, he could team up with the ape girl and live a happy life together on the island. 2 hours later, guided by the ape girl, Lyneshen arrived at the cliff she mentioned. The area was littered with human skeletons, which was pretty creepy. He wondered what had happened there, but then the ape girl pointed, "The fruit is there!" He followed her finger and saw a tree glowing with golden light, heavy with fruit. "That's gotta be it," Lyneshen thought. He stretched his limbs and got ready to climb up and grab some fruit, but just as he was climbing, a pterosaur flew overhead, making him nervous. "Uh-oh, is it going to attack me? I'm kinda stuck halfway up here, so if it comes for me, that could be a problem," he thought, looking up at the giant creature soaring above. He thought it was coming for him, but to his surprise, it snatched a fruit from the tree and swallowed it whole. After eating the fruit, it shone with golden light and transformed into a human form before tumbling to the ground. Looking around, Lyneshen realized the bones scattered on the cliff likely belonged to monsters that had eaten the fruit and fallen to their doom. This place definitely gave off bad vibes. He needed to grab the fruit and leave quickly. Right then, a massive bird appeared on the cliff top. Its crimson eyes locked onto Lyneshen, and the system alerted him that it was a death lark, a powerful creature with the bloodline of an ancient beast called Yuqiang. The Deathlark's arrival felt ominous, almost like it was guarding the fruit tree. It kept staring at Lyneshen, and he couldn't tell if it was mocking him or just observing. Though it wasn't attacking, Lyneshen didn't want to make any rash moves. He figured he should continue climbing and try to grab the fruits without causing a scene. When he reached the tree, he tried talking to the bird, saying, "Hey there, big brother bird. A friend told me these fruits are really tasty, so I just wanted to try some." He assumed the bird had given its consent, so he picked 2 fruits and said, "Thanks, big brother bird. I won't take up any more of your time. I'll be leaving now." However, the the bird didn't seem happy about that. It looked angry that Lyneshen wasn't eating the fruit on the spot, like it had expected him to transform and fall to his death. Suddenly, it spread its wings wide, dozens of meters in length, and let out a harsh, unpleasant cry. Lyneshen quickly realized the bird was about to attack. As it dived at him, he jumped to the side, narrowly dodging the attack. What's with this bird? It was fine just a second ago. Does it really care that much about 2 fruits? He thought. Lyneshen decided it was best to store the fruit safely in the system, so he asked Little Kun to do that for him. However, Little Kun pointed out that analyzing the fruit would cost 100,000 evolution points, and Lyneshen didn't have enough at the moment. He was short by about 7,000 points. Frustrated, Lyneshen muttered to himself about how he wished the system hadn't mentioned analyzing the fruit if it wasn't even possible. But he didn't have time to dwell on that, as the deathlark was coming for him again. The bird stretched out its sharp claws and scratched at him. Even his tough skin couldn't prevent the pain, and he knew he had to defend himself. As the bird prepared to attack again, Lyneshen swung his tail and sent it flying back. Quickly, he charged up his radioactive heat ray, shouting, "I'll turn you into roasted bird!" The attack hit the deathlark, but to his surprise, it had a recoil effect that sent the shot off course. Still, it was enough to set the bird's feathers on fire, and it plummeted toward the ground. Lyneshen knew it wouldn't be enough to finish the bird off, though. He needed to wait for the right moment to use a more powerful burst breath. After a short while, the bird recovered from the flames and flew back up into the sky. Lyneshen, seeing an opportunity, jumped onto the bird's back. He quickly stabilized himself and, with a grin, bit into the bird's neck, saying, "Ha, I'm now the knight of this big bird." The bird went wild, its speed picking up dramatically as it tried to shake him off. It spun in the air, leaping and diving, but Lyneshen held on tightly, realizing it couldn't throw him off. The deathlark soared higher and higher into the sky, breaking through the clouds. Lyneshen could feel the speed building, and soon they reached such a height that they caused a sonic boom. As they flew, Lyneshen couldn't help but admire the view. He'd never flown in a plane before, but now, riding on the back of a powerful monster, he got to experience the thrill of soaring through the clouds. He thought to himself, being a monster has its perks. As Lyneshen was reflecting on everything that had just happened, the deathlark suddenly sped up and turned around, heading straight for the cliff below. Panicking, Lyneshen thought he might be done for. He was about to be finished by a crazy bird, but just as he was about to give up hope, he noticed a lake nearby. He quickly came up with an idea. If he could use the recoil from his burst breath to launch himself into the lake, maybe, just maybe, his tough body would help him survive. Determined, he gathered energy for the attack. With a loud roar, the burst breath hit the deathlark, sending it crashing toward the cliff while Lyneshen was launched into the air. As he was about to land in the water, he felt the ape girl cling to him tightly, tears in her eyes. Together, they hit the water with a huge splash. The deathlark, on the other hand, crashed into the cliff, its head hitting the transformation fruit tree, causing the fruits to scatter all around. It slammed into a pile of bones with a heavy thud. After surfacing, Lyneshen let out a victorious laugh. He turned to the ape girl and said, "We did it! We're having chicken tonight." But just then, something unexpected happened. A transformation fruit fell right into Lynshen's mouth. What was that, he thought, looking at the floating pieces of the tree in the water. He realized it was the transformation fruit. Suddenly, a flash of golden light surrounded him. He didn't want to shrink down into a human. He wanted to stay in his monster form. When the light faded, Lyneshen checked his body. Wow, I look great, he thought. His muscles were huge, and he felt like a true hunk. But there was one odd thing. He still had a tiny pigtail after the transformation. What's up with that, he wondered. Feeling the situation was still dangerous, Lyneshen stayed underwater, watching the deathlark carefully. If it was really dead, he planned to feast on it to gather evolution points and analyze the fruit to change back into his original form. But as he watched, the deathlark started to move. How is it still alive? Lyneshen thought, spitting out some water in disbelief. The deathlark slowly got up, holding the body of a transformed pterosaur in its mouth. Above the corpse, a green crystal floated. Lyneshen was curious about the crystal but watched as the deathlark tossed the pterosaur aside and bit into the green crystal. To his shock, the bird's injuries started to heal right before his eyes. Lyneshen couldn't believe it. The deathlark stood up, flapped its wings, and staggered off into the distance, unaware of Lynshen's presence. Luckily, it didn't spot him, or he might not have survived. Even though he was safe, Lyneshen felt downhearted as he watched his evolution points slip away. He needed to find a way to gather more points quickly. I need to hunt down some small animals or even devour some monster bodies, he thought. I should have taken a bite out of that deathlark earlier when I had the chance. Just then, the ape girl shouted, "Hurry! Hurry! There's danger behind!" Lyneshen turned around and saw a king crocodile with blood-red eyes charging at him. He quickly jumped to the side to avoid its attack. "What kind of sneak attack is this? You're so big and you still have to play dirty," he muttered. But then, he noticed several more king crocodiles nearby, all heading straight for him. Are they serious? Do they just want to keep messing with me? Lyneshen thought. I don't want to die. I want to stay a monster. In a burst of panic-fueled strength, Lyneshen managed to pull ahead, leaving the king crocodiles behind. He was amazed at how much power he'd just just tapped into. Is this what happens when you're pushed to your limit? He wondered, feeling a rush of adrenaline. But just as he was feeling proud, another king crocodile appeared in front of him, blocking his path. Without thinking, Lyneshen decided to make a desperate move. He charged at the crocodile, grabbed its massive mouth, and held it shut. Crocodiles are known for their powerful bite, but their jaw-opening muscles are weak, so Lyneshen found it surprisingly easy to keep the creature's mouth closed. However, just as he thought he might be safe for a moment, he realized the situation was getting worse. The king crocodile's eyes turned red, and Lyneshen was stuck. If he let go, the crocodile would swallow him, but if he didn't, the other king crocodiles would get him. In that moment of panic, he heard the ape girl's voice calling out, "Grab the vine!" Just as Lyneshen thought he was safe, the king crocodile lunged at him again, its massive mouth wide open. He barely dodged, managing to escape just in time. The ape girl grabbed him and pulled him to safety on the shore. It wasn't the smoothest landing, but at least he wasn't dinner for a giant crocodile. He sighed in relief, thinking they were finally safe, but then the ape girl launched into her usual attack on the crocodile. Suddenly, another king crocodile leaped out of the lake, charging straight for them. Lyneshen and the ape girl quickly jumped back to avoid the attack, and the crocodile ended up biting into a tree. "I didn't think these guys could ambush like that," Lyneshen muttered, surprised by their strategy. The ape girl, however, wasn't giving up. She shouted at the crocodile, mocking it, calling it out for trying to look fierce. Lyneshen, seeing how serious the situation was, grabbed her and pulled her into a run. "You're wasting time," he told her. "Let's just go." It seemed like the crocodile didn't take kindly to her taunts, or maybe it was just hungry after their earlier conflicts. Either way, it chased them relentlessly. In the midst of this, the system chimed in, teasing Lyneshen about his troubles. "Looks like you're having a rough time, huh?" Fuming, Lyneshen snapped back, telling it to be quiet, then turned to little Kun, hoping for a way out. He asked if he could put it on credit and analyze the transformation fruit, but the system, ever the stickler for rules, said no. It was a matter of principles, no evolution points, no analysis. Lyneshen dropped any sense of pride and pleaded with little Kun, asking for an exception. But of course, little Kun wasn't budging. "Take it or leave it," it replied. Lyneshen was running out of time, and he might get eaten before he could make any progress. That's when the system cracked a joke and said he could get a skin for checking in. A flash of blue light passed over him, and a cool new skin appeared on his body. Great, but not the time, he thought. The ape girl, still on her game, suddenly sped up and jumped onto a large tree. Smart move, Lyneshen thought. She was figuring things out and using her skills. "Get up here! Danger's behind!" she shouted at him. Despite being terrible at sports in his past life, Lyneshen had no choice but to give it his all now. With a burst of effort, Lyneshen jumped high enough to avoid the crocodile's attack and scrambled up the tree. "Wow, this is awesome," he thought, realizing just how strong he was now. In his old life, he couldn't even do a pull-up, but now, climbing a tree was easy. He shouted in excitement, "This is great," but just then, the king crocodile slammed into the tree with a deafening crash. Lynshen's feet slipped, and before he knew it, he was falling back down toward the waiting crocodile. Luckily, the ape girl pulled him up just in time. "You idiot!" she said with a smirk, rolling her eyes. Lyneshen couldn't help but grin as he thanked her, but in his mind, he was thinking, "I can't believe this girl is mocking me right now." They finally made it to the top of the tree, where Lyneshen lay on the trunk, panting. Below them, the king crocodiles kept slamming into the tree, but they weren't getting anywhere. Feeling safe for the moment, Lyneshen couldn't resist boasting. "You think you can shake this tree? You guys are way overestimating yourselves." The ape girl moved closer, staring at him with wide eyes. Lyneshen thought maybe she was impressed by his toughness, but then she started comparing their heights. She teased him, saying he had gotten so small after his transformation. Lyneshen, now a little annoyed, shot back, "How am I small? You want to fight or something?" At that, the ape girl suddenly got really angry. Just as Lyneshen thought the ape girl was going to get into a fight with him, she unexpectedly pulled him behind her and started shouting up at the trees. A giant snake was hanging there, hissing and glaring down at them. The system chimed in with an alert, giving its usual overly detailed description of the creature. A huge prehistoric python, about 70 meters long and 5 meters wide, weighing a whopping 70 tons. Although it wasn't venomous, it liked to hide in trees and ambush its prey from above. Lyneshen wasn't thrilled with the system's usual helpful information. He shouted at little Kun, sarcastically thanking it for its compass, which only seemed to alert him about how much stronger his enemies were. He turned to the python and tried reasoning with it, asking if there was some misunderstanding, since he hadn't eaten any snakes before. The massive python, however, didn't care. Its tail lashed out toward them, and both Lyneshen and the ape girl had to quickly jump out of the way. Without missing a beat, the ape girl pulled Lyneshen up and they started running, leaping from tree to tree to avoid the snake's attacks. While they were running, Lyneshen asked little Kun if it could give him the transformation fruit back so he could use it on the snake, hoping it would turn into a human and fall prey to the king crocodiles. But of course, the system refused. It explained that analyzing the fruit would cost a huge amount of evolution points. Lyneshen tried to explain that he didn't want the fruit analyzed. He just wanted it back. Little Kun stuck to its guns, saying he'd need to pay 100,000 evolution points just to start the procedure. Lyneshen, frustrated, muttered that if he had that many points, he might as well analyze the fruit directly. He accused little Kun of trying to get him killed with all its rules, threatening to file a complaint and give it a 0-star review. Just as Lyneshen was getting worked up, the prehistoric python attacked again. It slammed into the ape girl, opening its huge mouth to bite her. Without thinking, Lyneshen jumped in front and pushed her away, only to get swallowed by the massive snake himself. Inside the python's stomach, it was dark and foul-smelling. Lyneshen realized he was inside the creature's digestive system but didn't feel any pain yet, probably thanks to his enhanced physical state. He knew, though, that if he stayed there too long, he wouldn't survive. He started gathering energy, thinking of using his burst breath to burn a hole and escape, but Little Kun quickly warned him that with his human body, he wouldn't be able to handle such intense energy and could explode. Instead, Little Kun suggested he use a burst bite to enhance his biting ability. Lyneshen agreed, realizing that he could devour the snake's insides to gain evolution points. It was gross, but it was his only option. As he started biting into the python's stomach, he couldn't help but think it tasted like eating a pair of stinky socks. Still, he kept going. The system chimed in, congratulating him with the first evolution points for successfully devouring part of the snake. Lyneshen grinned, knowing he was on the right track. He kept biting away, and soon enough, he could feel the snake writhing and thrashing around, clearly in pain. It started to fall from the tree, and Lyneshen laughed to himself. No amount of tossing will stop me, he thought, continuing to tear into the python's insides, but the snake's stomach walls started to contract, trying to force him out. Lyneshen braced his hands and feet against the walls to stop himself from being thrown up. Now you know what it feels like to try and eat me, he said to the python. I'm not going anywhere, buddy. As he devoured more, Little Kun checked in with an update. His evolution points had just passed 100,000, and the system asked if he wanted to analyze the transformation fruit. Lyneshen was thrilled, but the system's analysis speed was painfully slow, and he had to wait for 30 minutes. He wasn't happy about spending so much time in the python's stomach. He angrily complained to Little Kun, asking if there was any way to speed up the process. Little Kun offered him a deal: pay 1,000 evolution points to speed up the progress by 20%. Lyneshen wasn't thrilled, but squeezed Little Kun's face in mock frustration, joking that it was obsessed with evolution points. Little Kun replied that evolution points were like gasoline to a car. Without them, the system couldn't function. Lyneshen wasn't buying it. You tricked me into eating all this disgusting stuff, he muttered as he bit down on the python's insides again. The system kept announcing his evolution points as they climbed, and the python thrashed around even more. With each bite, Lyneshen could feel the analysis progress inching forward, and eventually, after some hard work, he reached the final 100% completion. The transformation fruit was fully analyzed and ready for retrieval. After Lyneshen ate the transformation fruit, he noticed it had changed color from red to green. He eagerly dug in, and though the taste was a bit unusual, it wasn't bad, kind of like papaya. He finished the fruit quickly and even let out a satisfied burp. Finally, I can turn back into a monster, he said excitedly. He shouted, transform, expecting a big change, but nothing happened. Confused, he turned to Little Kun and asked why nothing had changed. Little Kun, sitting casually and sipping its little coffee, explained that the transformation fruit actually contained an energy that wasn't of this world. When a monster ate the fruit, it would condense its life essence into a crystal nucleus, which was about the size of a fist. Afterward, the monster would lose its life essence and transform into a human. However, thanks to some modifications Little Kun made, Lyneshen could now use his mental power to sense the crystal nucleus and break it with his mind. This would allow the energy inside to flow into his limbs and bones, turning him back into a monster. Lyneshen was frustrated. So, I'm supposed to break this crystal thing with my mind? Is this some kind of cultivation world now? I break the nucleus and turn into a monster, while others break pills to become stronger? He sarcastically mentioned that he might need to meditate for 7 days and nights with an enlightenment stone. Little Kun assured him that no such trouble was needed. Just close your eyes and feel for it, it said simply. Lyneshen followed the advice, closing his eyes and concentrating. Soon enough, he could feel the crystal nucleus. He couldn't believe he actually found it. The next challenge was figuring out how to break it and direct the energy into his body. Then, it hit him. His old teacher had once taught him how to channel strength when throwing a shot put. Maybe it was something like that, using his mind to focus on the energy and guide it into his body. With his new monster abilities, Lyneshen focused and succeeded. The crystal nucleus shattered, and the energy started flowing through his limbs and bones. He was pumped. This is it, he thought. Just then, the python's stomach outside began to swell, letting out a painful roar. With a huge burst, Lynshen's transformation into a monster was complete, and the snake's stomach exploded. The prehistoric python fell to the ground in defeat. Lyneshen had finally transformed back. The ape girl cheered in excitement when she saw him, while the king crocodile looked terrified. But Lyneshen wasn't done yet. You reptiles thought you could bully me, huh? Ready to face my wrath now? After a while, Lyneshen had piled up the creatures, getting ready for a roasting feast. He couldn't help but reflect on how close he had come to losing his life when eating the fruit. It had been a risky move, but in the the end, it worked out. He wasn't planning on turning back into a human anytime soon. Too scary. While Lyneshen worked on the feast, the ape girl and little Tangerine were busy collecting firewood. Lyneshen used his burst breath to start the fire and thought to himself, it's definitely better being a monster. Sure, his appearance might not be perfect, but as the king of monsters, he felt unbeatable. Just then, the ape girl said something from below, but her voice was too soft for him to hear. She then shouted up, asking how he had transformed back so quickly and why he seemed so much taller than the last time they fought. Lyneshen, still working on his skewers, casually replied, I've always led a disciplined life, not picky about food, you know? That's why I've grown so fast and tall, but my secrets aren't for everyone. The ape girl, speechless at his response, just stared at him, unsure how to reply. The skewers in Lynshen's hands turned golden brown as they roasted. He handed one to the eager ape girl and little Tangerine, then gobbled up the prehistoric python in one go. Even though eating its insides had been pretty gross, Lyneshen wasn't about to waste food. As he ate, he got a notification from the system. He had finished devouring the python and earned a life fruit as a reward. The life fruit was said to be packed with life energy, strong enough to heal serious injuries or even bring someone back from the brink of death. But when Lyneshen looked at the fruit, he couldn't help but scoff. Little Kun, are you sure this isn't just a bitter gourd? He said. Little Kun, always the know-it-all, explained that while it looked like a bitter gourd, it actually had tons of benefits, like cooling the body and improving eyesight. What's wrong with bitter gourd? Little Kun asked. It's full of protein, fiber, and minerals. Lyneshen rolled his eyes. You're really something, Little Kun. A life fruit, and you made it look like my least favorite food? Meanwhile, the ape girl was busy scarfing down her food. That's when Lyneshen remembered she still hadn't healed from the injuries he'd caused during their last fight. So he handed her the life fruit, saying it was a healing fruit. She took a big bite, but as soon as she swallowed it, her face twisted in disgust. This is so bitter, she complained, tossing the fruit to the ground. But then, a soft green light surrounded her, and her wounds started to heal right before their eyes. Suddenly, all the bitterness was forgotten. She devoured the rest of the fruit and, feeling the energy surge, yelled out, This feels amazing! I'm full of power! Lyneshen couldn't help but sweat a little, concerned about her enthusiasm. Ape girl, you really need to stop shouting and banging around like that. If you didn't have that habit, your wounds would have healed a lot faster. Ape girl stared at him and shrugged. What? When I face a monster, I just yell and the problem is solved. No need to fight, she said. But hey, why did you attack me out of nowhere the first time we met when I was about to leave? Lyneshen paused. That's a good point. You're just protecting your food and territory, right? A couple of shouts and maybe a fight to settle things. The ape girl gave him a strange look, clearly not getting the picture. Lyneshen quickly shifted gears. Hey, eat up, gather enough evolution points and I can help you transform back into an ancient ape. Then, remembering something, Lyneshen asked her, wait, if even I almost got taken out by that death lark, how did you avoid it after eating the transformation fruit? Why were you captured by the dead rotten reptiles? Ape girl explained that she had climbed up the cliff, grabbed the fruit and popped it in her mouth. Lyneshen pictured her as an ancient ape, eating the fruit and falling down the cliff. But as he was lost in that thought, Ape girl handed him a large bone and asked, what are you thinking about? She went on, I managed to grab hold of the cliff and hang on. Just then, a dead rotten reptile seemed to have been knocked down by something. Out of curiosity, Lyneshen slowly crawled closer to the scene and saw a bunch of dead rotten reptiles fighting with a strange bird. It was a big cave, and although the bird, which was actually a death lark, seemed strong, it was outnumbered. Before long, the bird was overwhelmed and pinned to the ground, with its feathers being ripped out one by one. It was clear that the deathlark wasn't doing so well against these reptiles. Watching this unfold, Lyneshen thought for a second, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Maybe I should talk to that deathlark? He kept his distance and stayed hidden, observing from the shadows. Ape girl continued the story, explaining that the deathlark had fought hard to break free from the dead rotten reptiles, but eventually it had to flee the cave. However, it didn't get far before the reptiles caught her. Lyneshen was surprised to learn that Ape girl had been captured and taken to the cave after falling from the cliff. He asked why the reptiles hadn't just eaten her. Ape girl's face turned serious as she replied that they likely planned to offer her as a sacrifice to their leader. Lyneshen raised an eyebrow. The dead rotten reptiles wanted to make you their queen? Ape girl's expression darkened even more as she explained her past. Abyss Island, where she and her family had lived, used to be a beautiful place, inhabited by a tribe of ancient apes. Everyone looked the same, regardless of age or gender, and they lived peaceful lives. But then, the dead rotten reptiles showed up and ruined everything, throwing the island's ecosystem into chaos. No wonder the cave had such a lifeless, gloomy atmosphere. To restore the island, her parents and some other monsters had tried to find and destroy the dead rotten reptiles' nest, but they never returned. After that, Ape girl decided to join the fight to protect the island and bring her parents back. She believed the dead rotten reptiles had been after her all along because she carried the scent of her parents. Lyneshen, feeling protective, reassured her, "Don't worry, Ape girl. You're like family to me now. I won't let these reptiles ruin Abyss Island. We'll take them down together. He realized that, to stand a chance against the king of the dead rotten reptiles, who had already defeated so many monsters, including her parents, he needed to level up fast. If he could evolve into a 100-meter tall monster, then he'd be ready to face that powerful reptile leader. As he was thinking this, Ape Girl was, as usual, getting a bit carried away. She was shouting and pounding her chest, not caring about her image one bit. Lyneshen sighed, shaking his head at her antics. Just then, he heard something strange and spotted two giant cats slowly creeping toward them. The monster compass buzzed, alerting him to the danger. Giant Smilodon, 8 meters long, 24 tons, equipped with sharp teeth, a natural hunter. But Lyneshen had a plan. He used Ape Girl as bait. As the two Smilodons prepared to pounce on her, Lyneshen stomped on their legs, making them trip and fall with a loud snap. The Smilodons immediately recognized who was behind the attack and panicked. Lyneshen couldn't resist taunting them. You guys only come out when I'm not around, but now that Ape Girl's here, you just can't wait to make a move. With a sharp bite, he finished one of them off, and in no time, the beast turned into a delicious roasted meal. Lyneshen wasn't done yet though. As he worked on grilling the meat, he looked around the cave, which seemed more like Ape Girl's bedroom than anything else. Bones were scattered all over the place. Lyneshen smirked and asked her, "So, why are there so few monsters around here?" Ape Girl gave him a clueless look and said, "There just aren't many monsters around here. I used to eat 8 meals a day, but lately, it's been hard to find anything to eat." That's when it hit him. "Wait a second, you've eaten all the nearby monsters to extinction, haven't you?" Ape Girl just shrugged nonchalantly. "Yeah, now I just hunt in other territories." Lyneshen could only shake his head at her logic. "Your intelligence worries me sometimes, Ape Girl. You really wiped them all out?" Lyneshen immediately scolded Ape Girl for her reckless behavior, telling her that even if she moved to different territories, she had to think about sustainability. If she kept hunting everything in sight, she'd wipe out all the monsters on the island. Right after he finished speaking, Ape Girl suddenly clutched her chest, feeling a sharp pain, and collapsed on the ground. Both Lyneshen and Little Tangerine were shocked and rushed to ask her what was wrong. Ape Girl weakly explained that her heart hurt a lot. Little Kun, who had been observing, stepped in to explain what was going on. Apparently, staying in human form for too long was starting to take a toll on Ape Girl's body. Little Kun explained that the transformation fruit condensed a monster's life essence into a small crystal, and monsters didn't know how to properly control that energy. Over time, the excess energy could cause dangerous reactions, like heart problems or even worse. Ape Girl had already been in her human form for a whole week, and it was taking a serious toll. Little Kun added that it was lucky Ape Girl was a strong monster to begin with and had been holding on, especially after Lyneshen gave her the life fruit. Panicking, Lyneshen asked Little Kun if there was any way to help. Unfortunately, his evolution points were far too low to fix the situation. Little Kun suggested that Lyneshen needed to gather 100,000 evolution points, but that wasn't something Lyneshen could do overnight. So, without wasting any more time, Lyneshen decided to search for a powerful monster that could help him get the points he needed. He quickly opened the monster compass and saw a bright spot on the map, indicating a strong monster nearby. Determined to help Ape Girl, Lyneshen grabbed her and set off in the direction of the monster. He wasn't sure if he could defeat the creature, but for Ape Girl, he was willing to risk it all this time. He told Little Tangerine to find a safe place to hide and dashed toward the monster's location. As he ran, he startled a bunch of creatures, including a polypetidid, which lunged at him. He slapped it away, disgusted, but just as he was about to keep going, the polypetidid jumped right into his mouth. To his surprise, Lyneshen gained 150 evolution points for devouring the creature, and as a bonus, he got a special reward of 2,000 evolution points. Excited by the boost, Lyneshen decided to go all out, switching into frenzied feasting mode. He began devouring everything in his path, even the most unappetizing creatures, just for the points. Along the way, he ate an Arthropleura, an ancient scorpion, and a Meganeura, and his evolution points climbed to over 22,000. However, his excitement was short-lived, as he felt his nose start to bleed. He wasn't sure why he was encountering so many toads and insects, but they didn't taste great, and he wondered if they were really packed with nutrients. But then, a loud roar erupted from the foot of a nearby mountain, and Lynshen's excitement spiked again. He followed the sound and found a pack of spiny jackals, large, aggressive creatures that ranged from 10 to 30 meters in length and weighed anywhere from 30 to 90 tons. These jackals were known for their powerful bite and agility, and they had sharp, spiny ridges along their backs. But in front of them stood an even larger monster, a 35-meter-long, 105-ton giant sloth. Lyneshen was now facing two potential sources of evolution points, but he knew this would be a tough battle. The odds were stacked against him, but he was more determined than ever to protect Ape Girl and finish what he had started. The giant sloth was furious and roaring at the spiny jackals as it slapped slapped one of them away with its powerful claws, finishing it in one blow. The wolf's body went flying through the air, right into Lyneshen's mouth. As soon as the other spiny jackals saw what happened to their comrade, they started attacking the giant sloth in a frenzy, turning the whole area into a chaotic battle. Lyneshen, meanwhile, was enjoying a snack. He thought the more intense the fight got, the better. It was almost like he didn't have to lift a finger. He could just wait for both sides to weaken each other. Eventually, after a while of fighting, the spiny jackals had lost many of their members, and the giant sloth was clearly tired. Just when Lyneshen thought the fight was winding down, the sloth suddenly gathered its strength and flung all the remaining wolves off of it. Then, to Lynshen's surprise, it charged straight at him. It seemed like the sloth had noticed him, and there was no way Lyneshen could face it head-on. So, he quickly sidestepped and, while the sloth wasn't paying attention, used his tail to sweep its legs out from under it. The sloth crashed to the ground with a thud. Lyneshen wasted no time, jumping on its back and tearing off a huge chunk of meat. The taste was incredible, but just as he was enjoying his meal, a bold spiny jackal decided to attack him. Lyneshen was so annoyed he bit it right in half with one swift motion. "How dare you interrupt my dinner," he thought. The remaining jackals didn't take kindly to that and began charging at him in anger. Lyneshen let out a deep roar, and the fight was on. He started with tearing apart a spiny jackal, then swept another one off its feet with his tail. He was really getting into the action now. But then, one of the spiny jackals climbed onto his back, preparing to ambush him. Ape Girl, who was still struggling with her weakened body, noticed the attack and tried to warn him. She roared at the wolf, trying to get its attention, even though she could barely move. Lyneshen didn't want to let her get hurt, so he quickly grabbed her and shielded her in his arms. He couldn't believe she was still trying to help him even in her condition. He activated his thorn armor, and just like that, the spiny jackal on his back was instantly turned into ashes. At this point, the remaining spiny jackals realized they weren't going to win. They began howling in fear and retreating. Lyneshen couldn't help but smirk. Are they calling for reinforcements? He thought. That'll just give me more evolution points. Before long, a massive spiny jackal, clearly the leader of the pack, appeared with several smaller ones in tow. Lyneshen was excited. This one had to be worth a lot of evolution points, and he was ready to devour it. But first, he wanted to finish his meal. The pack leader roared, but Lyneshen just ignored it, savoring the giant sloth meat. The pack leader couldn't take it anymore and lunged at Lyneshen, claws out, but Lyneshen was in no mood for interruptions. He opened his mouth wide, startling the spiny jackal, and snapped at its smaller pack members, finishing them off one by one. The leader was now furious, but Lyneshen couldn't care less. He just wanted to eat in peace. Finally, just as Lyneshen stood up, feeling satisfied with his meal and ready for more action, he felt he had gathered enough evolution points. That's when the unfortunate leader of the spiny jackals was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Lyneshen was eagerly waiting as the system began analyzing and modifying the transformation fruit, with the progress bar slowly ticking up. The system estimated it would take about 18 minutes to finish. As he looked down at Ape Girl, curled up weakly on his shoulder, he wondered if she'd be able to hold on for that long. Unfortunately, there were no more monsters around to snack on. Everything had already been devoured. Annoyed, Lyneshen cursed the situation, blaming the monsters that had wasted his time. Then, he remembered the spiny jackal pack leader he had ignored earlier. It seemed like he needed to finish it off to earn some more evolution points. Lyneshen whipped his tail at it, but the wolf dodged and lunged at him with a roar. That was exactly what he wanted. He bit down on the wolf, but it swiped its claws at his eyes, forcing him to fling it away. Despite the pain, Lyneshen tore a large chunk of its flesh, but the wolf kept growling at him. Thinking about what Ape Girl had said earlier, how monsters fight for food and territory, Lyneshen got annoyed. He charged at the wolf, ramming it with his shoulder and sending it flying a few dozen meters. But even then, the wolf refused to back down and bared its teeth at him. Lyneshen, now serious, gathered energy for a big hit. The spiny jackal pack leader was clearly sweating, not expecting Lyneshen to be this strong. Lyneshen unleashed a powerful radioactive heat ray, hitting the wolf dead on. The shockwave from the attack made the ground tremble, and when the dust cleared, the wolf was in terrible shape. Its fur was completely gone, and its body was steaming, with blood dripping from its wounds. Lyneshen couldn't help but joke about his new move. Radioactive heat ray hair removal, quick and effective. The wolf howled in pain, and soon a few smaller wolves rushed in to protect their leader. Lyneshen smirked. Are you trying to protect your king? Well, for me, this is just more evolution points to collect. But then, he noticed the wolf was howling again, and something felt off. Wait, why is it howling again? Is there a bigger creature nearby? As he looked around, Lyneshen spotted a massive figure standing on the hillside. It was a wolverine, an ancient beast from the classics of mountains and seas. This creature was huge, 50 meters long and weighing 150 tons. It had a powerful presence, and Lyneshen began to feel a little uneasy. The wolverine carried a huge blade and was slowly walking toward him, and as it approached, all the spiny jackals bowed before it. almost like they were its subjects. Lyneshen was annoyed. Great, just what I need. Another giant creature. And what's with the giant sword? Trying to show off or something? He noticed the Wolverine was staring at Ape Girl with an unsettling smile. Oh great, is this guy another creepy old beast eyeing her? Before Lyneshen could fully process it, the Wolverine attacked, targeting Ape Girl. Lyneshen quickly sidestepped the attack and mocked it for picking on easy targets. But the Wolverine was quick, and before Lyneshen could react, it swiped at his eyes. He was caught off guard, but he quickly realized the Wolverine was pretending to attack Ape Girl while actually aiming for him. It attacked again, this time focusing on Ape Girl, but Lyneshen was too busy protecting her to notice in time, and another scratch appeared on his face. That's when he realized the Wolverine wasn't just attacking recklessly, it was targeting his weakness, knowing that Lyneshen would be distracted by Ape Girl. Damn, does this creature actually have some brains? Lyneshen thought, starting to worry that he might be in over his head. Lyneshen was getting more and more frustrated as the Wolverine kept running around him, occasionally attacking Ape Girl to distract him. He was furious. I'm a human, the ruler of Earth. You think you can outsmart me? Not even close, he yelled, then whipped his tail around, using it to send a skeleton flying toward the Wolverine. The Wolverine dodged the skeleton, but Lyneshen didn't waste any time. He gathered energy for another heat ray. The Wolverine, remembering how badly the spiny jackal had been burned, dodged the attack just in time. Still, it couldn't avoid the heat entirely and got its paw scorched. It bared its teeth, looking more irritated than ever. Lyneshen taunted it. There, now we're even. Suddenly, the Wolverine sped up, leaping off a nearby tree to get higher in the air. Lyneshen was confused, unsure of what the creature was planning. To his shock, the Wolverine used its mouth to pull out a massive blade from its back. Lynshen's jaw dropped. Wait, it pulled out a blade? The Wolverine raised the blade high, and before Lyneshen could react, it came crashing down on his shoulder. Pain exploded through him as he felt a deep cut. Blood sprayed everywhere. This thing's way too much to handle, Lyneshen thought, panicking. How am I supposed to fight it without weapons? Am I supposed to fight this wolf with my bare hands? Not willing to back down, Lyneshen bolted, running for cover. What kind of world is this? He muttered to himself. How does a wolf know how to use a blade? I thought monsters couldn't be hurt by anything. Lava, bullets, you name it. But right now, there was no time for that. He had to get Ape Girl back to her original, stronger form. The two of them together could take this guy down. Lyneshen gently placed Ape Girl down, telling her to climb up a nearby tree. She nodded, understanding how much weaker she was in her current state. She struggled toward the tree as fast as her shaking body would let her. But before Lyneshen could react, the Wolverine leaped at him again, this time slashing at his thigh with its blade. Lyneshen gritted his teeth, grabbed a tree, and ripped it out of the ground, hurling it at the Wolverine. Don't think you're the only one who can use tools, he yelled. The Wolverine slashed through the tree with its blade, but that gave Lyneshen just enough time to gather energy for his next move. Burst breath, he shouted, launching a massive energy blast right at the Wolverine. The creature dodged with a flip, its thick hide absorbing the hit without even flinching. Tough skin, I get it, Lyneshen grumbled. That's a boss-level ability right there. But no matter how tough the Wolverine was, it still hadn't dropped that blade, and that weapon was making things a lot harder. Lyneshen knew he had to get rid of it somehow. Deciding to use pure strength, he charged at the Wolverine, hoping to knock the blade out of its mouth. But as he rushed forward, the hairless, spiny jackal came back into the fray, biting Lynshen's leg and stopping him dead in his track. Furious, Lyneshen glared at the spiny jackal, but before he could do anything, the Wolverine jumped high again, this time targeting him with its blade. Great, a jumping, blade-wielding wolf and a spiny jackal biting me. These guys are working together, Lyneshen shouted. 2 against 1 isn't fair. Just when things seemed to be getting worse, a new problem appeared. A death lark swooped down from the sky, spotting Ape Girl in the tree. Its eyes lit up, and it dove toward her with its beak open. Lyneshen was about to spring into action, but Ape Girl managed to dodge just in time. The death lark crashed into the tree instead, missing her by a hair. Lyneshen felt a surge of panic when he heard the commotion. Not good, Ape Girl's in danger, he thought. He spotted the death lark hunting for her. An Ape Girl was hiding under some bushes, too scared to move. His heart raced. Distracted by the situation, he got caught off guard by the Wolverine, taking another hit. Furious, he spun around and forced both the Wolverine and spiny jackal back. He thought about the past, how he'd never had anyone close to him before, but Ape Girl had risked her life for him, and now, no matter what it took, he was determined to protect her. Without a second thought, he charged toward her, leaving himself open to attack. The Wolverine took advantage, speeding up and thrusting its blade straight into Lynshen's back. But this was exactly what he wanted. He needed that blade. At the same time, the spiny jackal bit into his leg, and now he was covered in wounds, gasping for breath. But he couldn't just run. He had to control the situation, so he used his shell to trap the blade and started gathering energy on his back. The Wolverine was panicking, trying to pull the blade out, but Lyneshen didn't flinch. I let you hit me on purpose, he muttered. As long as my heart's protected, it doesn't matter. I'm used to pain. With a shout, he activated his thorn armor, and the Wolverine was struck by the sharp thorns, sending it flying into the ground, howling in pain. That takes care of the blade wielder, Lyneshen thought. Turning to the spiny jackal, Lyneshen smirked. Now it's your turn. Hand over your evolution points. The little spiny jackal, terrified, tried to escape, but Lyneshen was faster, biting off its head. Instantly, he got 500 evolution points. Nice, he thought, but he didn't stop there. He kept devouring the spiny jackal, ignoring the wolverine behind him. The analysis progress bar was climbing steadily. After a few minutes, all that was left of the spiny jackal was one leg. Just then, Little Kun appeared, saying, "The transformation fruit analysis is complete. Do you want to retrieve it?" Lyneshen nodded, and the green transformation fruit appeared in his hand. Just then, the deathlark pushed through the bushes and spotted Ape Girl. Lyneshen quickly tossed the transformation fruit toward her. "Ape Girl, eat it!" he shouted. She scrambled over and began chewing it as fast as she could. Meanwhile, the deathlark saw her and dove toward her with its beak open, ready to snatch her up. Lyneshen yelled at her, "Transform! Use the method I taught you, quick!" As the deathlark charged, Ape Girl reached up and slapped it. The bird looked at her tiny hand, thinking it was no threat. But then, something incredible happened. Her hand transformed into that of an ancient ape, and with one powerful swing, she slapped the deathlark right out of the air. Ape Girl stood tall and let out a triumphant roar. She'd finally regained her powerful form. "Did I really transform back?" she said, amazed. Then, she couldn't help but shout with joy, "I did it! I've transformed back!" Then, remembering something Lyneshen had once told her, she thought, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." So, with that in mind, she decided to talk to the deathlark. She jumped on the bird's back and said, "Dragon Brother says we can be friends." She even stepped on the deathlark's weak spot, practically squashing it. Ancient apes communicated in a rough and straightforward way, so she pounded her fists on the deathlark and demanded, "Speak up, do you want to be our friend?" At this point, the deathlark was beyond angry, thinking it had been utterly humiliated. Ancient ape wasn't backing down. She threatened the deathlark, saying it better speak up or she'd keep attacking. But the bird wasn't having it. It suddenly flipped over, throwing Ancient ape off, and then started flapping its wings hard, trying to escape. Seeing the bird act like that, Ancient ape got even angrier. She beat her chest and roared, looking around for something to use. When she spotted a fallen tree, she quickly had an idea. She picked up the tree trunk like she was going to throw a javelin, and with a quick motion, launched it straight at the deathlark. The trunk almost hit the bird, but it dodged just in time, cursing loudly. Lyneshen couldn't believe it. The deathlark just cursed, he thought. After seeing a wolf with a blade and an ape throwing trees, hearing a bird curse didn't seem so strange anymore. "Forget it, I'll let Ancient ape deal with the cursing bird. I've got bigger problems," he muttered, focusing on the wolverine in front of him. The wolverine was just standing there, staring at Ape Girl, clearly shocked by her transformation. Lyneshen couldn't resist teasing it. "So, what do you think? Now I've got a backup, and you've lost your big blade. Still want to fight?" Suddenly, the wolverine let out a roar, yellow electricity sparking around its body, and it charged at Lyneshen with full force. "Uh-oh, did I say something wrong?" Lyneshen thought. The wolverine hadn't shown any sign of slowing down. It was still fast and strong. It jumped at him, aiming for the blade again. But Lyneshen wasn't about to let it take back the blade he had fought so hard for. He quickly responded with a dragon tail swing, sending the wolverine flying. But something felt off. His body was tired, weak, and he was breathing heavily. There just wasn't enough energy left. His giant form felt drained, and the blade still stuck in his chest was taking its toll. Ancient ape, hearing the noise of the fight, started to worry and was about to come to his aid. But then the deathlark switched directions and dove straight at her, claws extended. Ancient ape swung back at the bird, but it was clear the deathlark had the upper hand, especially with its aerial advantage and its tricky moves. Lyneshen could see she was struggling, and he shouted to her, "Don't worry about me. Stay focused on your fight. Even though my body is tough, I can't keep going like this with the blade in my chest. We need to take out one of these enemies quickly." While he was thinking, the wolverine took the chance to jump onto his back again and grab the blade with its mouth. Not good, Lyneshen thought. Just as Ancient ape noticed his struggle, she ran over to help, but before she could reach him, the deathlark suddenly swooped down, slashing across Ancient ape's back with its sharp claws. She stumbled, clearly hurt. Seeing this, Lynshen's anger flared. He growled, "You really don't learn, do you? Trying to attack my back again?" He started gathering energy, blue electricity crackling along his back. The wolverine, remembering the pain of the thorn armor, let out a whimper and jumped off, running away as fast as it could. Lyneshen couldn't help but smirk. "Good to know you're scared now," he thought, "but you've been tricked. My real target was never you." With a loud boom, Lyneshen released his strongest move, the burst breath, aimed straight at the deathlark. The bird, cursing as it was blasted away, shouted, "Why am I always the unlucky one?" as it was sent flying thousands of meters into the distance. After the explosion, Lyneshen was completely drained. He collapsed onto the ground, exhausted. "Ape Girl, it's up to you now," he whispered weakly. The wolverine, seeing how weak he was, let out another roar and charged at him. But just as it got close, Ancient ape, filled with rage, jumped high and slammed a huge punch into the wolverine, sending it flying. Unfortunately, the wolverine was tough, and the punch barely seemed to faze it. It snarled and stomped the ground before charging at Ancient Ape again, this time sinking its teeth into her thigh. Ancient Ape swung her fist, trying to break free, but the wolverine was quick and dodged, jumping aside and using a nearby tree to launch itself at Ancient Ape, biting into her other arm. It was using all 4 of its claws to drag her backward, and at that moment, Lyneshen's stomach growled with hunger. Good thing she's holding up, Lyneshen thought. If Ancient Ape wasn't here, this creature might have finished me off. The wolverine is relentless. It's got so many tricks, attacking the weak points of someone like me, and pinning down Ancient Ape's arms and legs. This fight is far from over. Just then, Lyneshen noticed more wolves running toward the woods. He wondered if the wolverine was trying to buy time for the others to escape. This creature is clever, he thought. Meanwhile, Ancient Ape raised her arm and tried to punch the wolverine in the head, but it dodged quickly and then charged right toward Lyneshen. It was clear that the wolverine was trying to drag Ancient Ape away, distracting her to get to Lyneshen. Lyneshen realized it was all part of the wolverine's plan. As the wolverine pounced, Ancient Ape grabbed its tail just in time. With a mighty roar, she spun it around and hurled it toward a nearby tree. The impact was huge, and the tree snapped in half. Ancient Ape let out a victorious roar, but the wolverine was still focused on Lyneshen. It didn't seem to care that it was covered in injuries. Even though Lyneshen had the blade, the wolverine was relentless. Lyneshen began to understand. The blade was important to the wolverine, and that's why it was so determined to get it back. Lyneshen, seeing that the fight wasn't going to end anytime soon, decided to try something different. Maybe I can end this without more fighting, he thought. He shouted at them to stop. Everyone, stop fighting. I want to talk. Ancient Ape, still angry and hurt, tried to keep fighting, but Lyneshen stopped her. It hasn't taken our food or territory. There's no reason to keep fighting. Ancient Ape, who was pretty straightforward, quickly agreed. Right, you're right. She understood because of the transformation fruit. And to Lynshen's surprise, the wolverine seemed to understand him too. It must have encountered humans before. Could it be that there had been humans on the island before? Lyneshen pointed to the blade on his chest and said to the wolverine, I can tell that this blade is important to you. I'll return it to you, but once you have it, will you leave us in peace? The wolverine seemed surprised and a little calmer after hearing this. Lyneshen sat down, signaling Ancient Ape to take out the blade. Reluctantly, she placed her hand on the hilt, but as soon as Ancient Ape pulled the blade out, blood sprayed out, and Lyneshen was in so much pain, he nearly passed out. Ape girl, are you trying to make me bleed to death? He groaned. Then, to his surprise, the wolverine let out a whining sound. It seemed to be teaching them how to treat wounds. It was using its tongue to cover its own injuries with dirt. Why didn't I think of that? Lyneshen thought. He realized the wolverine was using soil to help stop the bleeding. It must have learned this from its encounters with humans. Lyneshen quickly explained to Ancient Ape, we need to press clean soil on the wound to stop the bleeding. They both grabbed some fresh soil and pressed it into the wound to slow the bleeding. Lyneshen, still feeling weak, asked Ancient Ape to toss the blade to the wolverine. The wolf picked it up and walked off toward the woods, leaving them in peace. Lyneshen sighed with relief. Good thing the wolf didn't attack us again. But just then, another figure appeared from behind a tree, eyeing the wolverine as it left. Since I can't get that Ancient Ape spirit core, I might as well take yours first, the new figure said. Exhausted, Lyneshen collapsed on the ground, panting. His stomach growled. I've been fighting the death lark and the wolverine, and now there's something even stronger lurking around. I'm not ready for this. Ancient Ape, looking worried, asked, Dragon brother, are you okay? Lyneshen, in a weak voice, replied, how could I be okay? Look at my stomach. Ancient Ape thought he was talking about his wound and started scooping up some dirt to cover it. Lyneshen nearly threw up. No, not that dirt, he said. I'm just hungry. We need food, not more mud. Ancient Ape, now understanding, ran off and came back soon with a few spine wolves and ground sloths. Watching her try to cook was a disaster. She wasn't exactly a skilled cook, and the spiny jackal still wasn't quite finished off when Ancient Ape accidentally skewered it in the wrong place. Lyneshen was watching Ancient Ape, who was busy trying to cook their food, when he couldn't help but point out how brutal it was that the spiny jackal wasn't even dead yet. After getting the skewers ready, he started showing Ancient Ape how to cook properly. Don't flip it too soon, he reminded her. Let it roast for a bit longer. If you flip it too fast, it'll burn. But Ancient Ape didn't really listen. She grabbed the wrong end of the skewers, and in her excitement to eat, she accidentally set her arm on fire, dropping the skewers in the process. Lyneshen slapped her hand away, frustrated. I told you not to put your hands in the fire. Why is teaching you so exhausting? The skewers were burnt and covered in mud, but Ancient Ape didn't mind at all. She just dug in, munching away like a true foodie, totally enjoying the food. At that moment, the system gave an alert. Severe injuries detected in the host's body. Evolution points automatically deducted for wound repair. In an instant, all of Lynshen's injuries disappeared. He hadn't realized that his devouring ability could work like that. He thought back on everything that had happened. He'd been reborn as a monster, had learned the burst breath, defeated the pterosaur, and even faced the tough Ancient Ape and other enemies. That the death lark and wolverine had really taught him a hard lesson about how much more there was to learn. Ancient Ape had told him about her parents, who had fought against the powerful king of the dead rotten reptiles along with many monster masters, and still lost. That creature must be incredibly strong. The challenge is bigger than I thought, Lyneshen realized. I still have so much more to do. He needed to keep sneaking around, developing his skills and collecting evolution points. Ancient Ape had grown stronger after eating the life fruit, so maybe he should share more of the system's gifts with her. Having an extra ally was always a good idea. Then Lyneshen remembered the death lark, the one he'd hit with his burst breath. He wondered where it had fallen. Ancient Ape pointed in the direction, saying, "It fell over there." Lyneshen got excited. "It's probably dead by now. Let's cook it." He figured if it was dead, they could make good use of it. Who knows how many evolution points it might give them, maybe even a new skill. But when they got there, all they found was a giant pit in the ground. There was no sign of the death lark. If it wasn't dead, we should have seen it trying to escape, Lyneshen thought, puzzled. Ancient Ape, still munching on food, explained that when she'd gone looking for food, the death lark was already gone. Just then, Little Kun appeared, looking around and saying, "The energy waves here tell me that a monster just transformed into a human. Could the death lark have transformed and left?" Lyneshen was annoyed and pointed at Little Kun, saying, "That explains why the death lark disappeared. But didn't transformation require modifying the transformation fruit?" Little Kun quickly denied it, saying, "It's not me. I'm loyal to you. I'd never serve that ugly bird." Lyneshen was skeptical, thinking, loyal to me? More like loyal to getting me into trouble. Little Kun quickly turned away, pretending to ignore him. Ancient Ape, confused, asked, "Did Dragon Brother hit his head? Why is he talking to himself?" Meanwhile, Little Kun continued, "Forget about the Deathlark transforming. I'm more concerned about the ability it got from that man who turned into a pterosaur. Remember how it took a crystal from the man and swallowed it to heal itself? The transformation fruit can compress a monster's life essence into a crystal. That's how it works." Lyneshen suspected that the Deathlark might have used a crystal nucleus to heal itself, similar to how he devours monster flesh to recover. He wondered aloud if the Deathlark could also use the crystal to level up. Little Kun wasn't sure, but suggested that Lyneshen could take advantage of an opportunity to study the creature by defeating it. Lyneshen, though, wasn't so keen. After all, the Deathlark had taken 2 of his burst breaths without even flinching. He joked that next time they met, it wouldn't be clear who would finish who. Little Kun then offered a different approach. Instead of a full-on battle, he suggested that Lyneshen could simply scratch the surface of the Deathlark's body. With a sample, Little Kun could analyze it and figure out more. Lyneshen wasn't interested, though. "If you want to go yourself. I don't have time for that," he said, clearly done with the idea. Lyneshen had already decided to head back to his own territory to continue leveling up in peace. Ancient Ape's territory was running low on food, and he wanted to see the looks on the faces of the monsters who had dismissed him when they saw him return with a foodie like Ancient Ape. A week later, life was pretty easy. Ancient Ape brought food back every morning, and Little Tangerine had become a pro at stacking firewood. Lyneshen, however, was still picky. He kept reminding Ancient Ape not to bring back poisonous spiders. Even though their constitution made it safe to eat some of them, they didn't taste great. Ancient Ape took notes in her little notebook, learning the ropes of cooking and barbecuing. Lyneshen didn't have to lift a finger anymore to enjoy tasty food. He even started thinking about teaching Ancient Ape how to make fire by friction. That way, he could just sit back, devour, and level up with minimal effort. Life was becoming pretty sweet. Then, Lyneshen got a notification from the system. He eagerly called out, "System, check in." The response came with excitement. His reward was a new A-rank skill, Dragon Roar. This roar could energize allies and stun enemies, freezing them in place. Lyneshen almost burst into tears of joy. After 20 days of checking in, he finally earned another A-rank skill. Little Kun chimed in to congratulate him, mentioning that Lyneshen had completed a full month of check-ins on Abyss Island. This unlocked a special reward package. Lyneshen was curious and even more excited. A package? What's inside? Is it even better than the A-rank skill? Little Kun smiled mysteriously and explained that the package was something special, not just any normal item or skill from the system. As a reward for his continuous check-ins, Lyneshen would now have access to the system store and map, plus a hefty 300,000 evolution points. Lyneshen couldn't believe it. "Wow, a system store and all those evolution points. Time to treat myself," he said, eager to see what Little Kun had to offer. When Little Kun opened his mouth, Lyneshen was shocked to find the store hidden inside. The first item that caught his attention was the Thunder Fruit from the Pirate Emperor's world. This fruit could turn his body into lightning, allowing him to move at incredible speed and release high-voltage electricity. It was perfect for dealing with the slow-moving giant monsters. The next item was the Tai Chi Eye from the Fire Shadow world. It granted the ability to see through anything and detect an opponent's weaknesses. It was almost like a cheat code for battle, and Lyneshen couldn't help but feel excited about the possibilities. Lyneshen was scrolling through the system store, looking at all the new skills and items available. The Thunder Fruit was priced at 500 million evolution points, the Tai Chi Eye at 200 million, and the Titanium Mecha at 100 million. He was shocked by the prices. Little Kun, this is practically robbery, he exclaimed. How am I supposed to afford any of this with only 300,000 evolution points? Little Kun defended the prices, explaining that everything in the store came from parallel universes and that it cost him a lot to bring these items here. He suggested that Lyneshen check out some more affordable options, even hinting that the store had some high-tech features like a swipe function. Lyneshen swiped through the store, but everything was priced in the millions. He couldn't help but feel mocked by the prices, but he wasn't giving up. I'll gather enough evolution points eventually, he thought. I might even become a massive beast by then and have all the freedom I want. Just when he was about to give up, Little Kun reminded him that there was a filter to find items under 300,000 evolution points. Lyneshen was a little skeptical, but decided to try it. After some searching, he finally found something he could afford: barbecue seasoning for only 1,000 evolution points. He was so relieved. Better than nothing, he said, excited to try it out. When he purchased it, a weird sound came from Little Kun, and the seasoning was pulled out of his mouth, all slimy. Lyneshen complained, "Gross, can't you keep it clean?" Little Kun explained that it was actually next-gen 3D printing technology, so it was fine. Lyneshen reluctantly sprinkled the seasoning on his food, and instantly the delicious aroma filled the air. Wow, that's the flavor. If only we had some cold soda to go with it, he thought. It was a small victory, but still satisfying. Afterward, Lyneshen asked Little Kun to open the system map. Little Kun explained that it was just a rough map of Abyss Island, showing only the areas Lyneshen had visited in detail. The rest of the map was covered in fog, but as he explored more, it would gradually clear up. He noticed some gray areas on the map and asked about them. Little Kun explained that those areas were contaminated by the dead, rotten reptiles. Everything in those places, from the sky to the plants, was rotting. Their territory was expanding, and they were a real problem. Lyneshen decided that they needed to deal with them. "We need to stop them before they spread anymore," he said. Little Kun encouraged him to take action, telling him that by defeating the dead, rotten reptiles, he could light up more of the map and gradually claim control over the island. Lyneshen was more focused on something else, though. "Is there any reward for lighting up the map?" he asked. Little Kun replied that by doing so, Lyneshen would essentially become the true master of Abyss Island. But Lynshen's goal was different. He wasn't after the title of ruler of Abyss Island. He wanted to be the king of monsters, to defeat the king of the dead, rotten reptiles, avenge Ancient Ape's parents, and restore the peace and beauty of the island. Lyneshen looked over at Ancient Ape, who was happily eating, and placed his hand on her forehead. "Let Ancient Ape be the ruler of Abyss Island," he said. "Becoming the king of monsters is my dream." Ancient Ape, still focused on her food, looked confused. "What does that even mean? Is it better than barbecue?" she asked. Lyneshen chuckled at her innocence and shook his head. "These titles mean nothing," he explained. "Nothing beats a full stomach." With that, he handed her a few more skewers of grilled meat. "Let's keep eating, Ancient Ape. The rest can wait." While Lyneshen was chatting with Ancient Ape, a lump of green stuff suddenly dropped into her hand. She thought it was a new seasoning Lyneshen added, so she leaned in to sniff it. But as soon as she smelled it, her face scrunched up in disgust. "Ugh, this smells awful. This is poop," she exclaimed. Looking up, Ancient Ape saw a group of pterosaurs circling overhead. They were teasing her, asking how the seasoning tasted. Furious, Ancient Ape tossed her skewer aside and leapt at them in anger. The pterosaurs didn't expect her to react so quickly and flew higher to avoid her, but Ancient Ape missed and crashed to the ground, failing to even catch a feather. The pterosaurs couldn't help but laugh at her. She landed with a thud, but wasn't about to let it go. Fuming, she ran towards a huge rock at the cave entrance, clearly intending to smash it. But Lyneshen quickly stopped her. "Hey, no, that's the rock I used to prop my feet. Don't wreck my cave." Realizing she was about to destroy his stuff, Lyneshen decided to handle it himself. This was the perfect chance to try out his new skill. He used his dragon roar, and the pterosaurs in the air immediately dropped into a daze. Lyneshen followed up with a powerful heat ray, knocking the teasing pterosaurs to the ground with ease. "Don't worry, Ancient Ape. You'll be the future queen of Abyss Island," he said with a smirk. "If you can't handle a few pterosaurs, how will you manage the bigger challenges ahead?" While Lyneshen could get stronger just by eating, he thought it would be good to give Ancient Ape some proper training to boost her abilities. So, he decided to set up a special training program for her starting the next day. Ancient Ape perked up when she heard the words special training. But when she asked if it was tastier than roasted meat, Lyneshen had to quickly explain, "It's not about food, it's about getting stronger. I'll help you improve your strength so you can become the queen of Abyss Island." Ancient Ape, still munching on grilled meat, wasn't interested. "I don't care about being the queen. No one has stolen food from me, so why should I fight?" Lyneshen sighed, knowing she'd react like this, but he wasn't giving up. He remembered his days of training dogs and knew how to make it work. He waved a skewer of delicious roasted meat in front of her. "If you do the special training, I'll reward you with this." At the mention of food, Ancient Ape's eyes lit up, and she happily agreed. "I'll do it. Special training is the best." She was practically jumping with excitement, all thoughts of strength training forgotten. The first task of the special training was strength training, 1,000 pull-ups. Lyneshen demonstrated first by jumping up and grabbing the bar, but of course he quickly realized his arms were too short to reach it. Not a problem though. He gritted his teeth, jumped higher and clamped onto the bar with his mouth. The sight was pretty ridiculous, like a chicken hanging by its neck, but Lyneshen wasn't about to give up now. Ancient Ape looked at Lyneshen, completely puzzled. When he turned to look at her, he realized she wasn't even on the ground anymore. Instead, she had climbed up a tree and stretched down a hand to him. "Isn't climbing a tree easy? What's so hard about it? Come on, I'll help you," she said. Lyneshen felt embarrassed. All right, Ancient Ape, you're the real master of climbing. But even if you're super strong, it's not all about strength. Endurance is key in a real fight." Before he could say more, a loud rumble echoed from the forest. A crocodile that had just woken up found itself stomped flat by Ancient Ape in one swift move. The other crocodiles watching nearby cowered in fear, clearly not wanting to end up the same way. Lyneshen, a bit out of breath, tried to catch up with Ancient Ape, but no matter how hard he ran, he couldn't match her speed. Out of breath, he muttered, "Seriously? I've turned into a monster and I still can't outrun a girl?" As Lyneshen caught up, Ancient Ape was more focused on the skewers and seasoning she was holding, happily flashing a peace sign at him. The small animals around them that got caught in the chaos looked upset, holding signs that read, "No reckless running. Don't hit passers-by." The entrance to Lynshen's cave had turned into a complete mess, with constant sounds of fighting echoing from the area. While Ancient Ape's strength and endurance were impressive, Lyneshen knew that skills and experience were what would really lead them to victory. That's when he decided it was time for their next training session. Lyneshen and Ancient Ape were sparring now. Lyneshen launched a dragon tail whip at her, and the impact sent her flying into two big trees, knocking them over as she hit the ground. For a moment, she lay motionless, and Lyneshen rushed over, worried he'd gone too hard. Just as he was about to check on her, Ancient Ape suddenly threw a punch at him, catching him by surprise and turning his vision a mix of purple and red. "Playing dead for a sneak attack? Haven't you heard it's rude to punch someone in the face?" Lyneshen grinned, ready to retaliate, and gathered all his energy for a blast of power. But Ancient Ape dodged, sending his energy wave racing off into the distance. It crashed into a small caracal nearby that had been watching them. The forest around them was in total chaos. At that moment, Little Kun spoke up, shaking his head. "You two have turned this place into a disaster zone. The dead, rotten reptiles don't even need to show up anymore. At this rate, you'll destroy the island yourself." Lyneshen couldn't help but agree. The forest was a mess, and if all the prey had fled, he'd have nothing to eat. But, he reasoned, they still needed to train if they wanted to be strong enough to face the king of the dead, rotten reptiles. Little Kun suggested, "It's not impossible to enhance your strength, but have you looked at your size? The ground shakes when you walk. How can you expect to train like that?" Lyneshen had an idea. "What if we transform into our human forms for the training? Would that help us get stronger in our monster forms too?" Little Kun explained that training in human form could help them increase their capacity to handle the energy from the crystal nucleus. When you transform, your body can handle more energy, and when you turn back into a monster, that energy will make you stronger, he said. Lyneshen was convinced. He turned to Ancient Ape and asked, "All right, Ape Sister, let's try transforming. Follow me, and we'll start meditating to pool our energy in the right way." Little Kun then explained how to make the transformation. To change from a monster to a human, they would need to gather all their energy in their lower body and form a nucleus there. Lyneshen couldn't help but laugh at how this sounded like something straight out of a cultivation novel. "Well, if we're going to cultivate, let's do it properly. Come on, Ape Sister, let's sit down and focus on meditating. We need to gather all our energy around the lower body," Lyneshen said, leading the way. After a while, Lyneshen suddenly had to open his eyes. A sudden, urgent need to pee hit him out of nowhere. "Damn it," he muttered. He realized that focusing his energy in his lower body had made him need to relieve himself. After quickly handling that, he felt a lot lighter, but when he looked around for Ancient Ape, she was gone. "Ape Sister, where'd you go? Did you need to pee too?" Lyneshen called out. Then, he heard a faint voice from below. He looked down and was shocked to see Ancient Ape already in human form, happily jumping around. "I'm here," she called out cheerfully. Lyneshen was surprised. "What? How did you transform so fast?" He couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. In his past life, he had been surpassed by a girl, and now it seemed like he was getting left behind again. As Godzilla, instead of leveling up by battling monsters, he was sitting cross-legged, trying to learn how to cultivate his power. He felt frustrated. He was outclassed by Ancient Ape in strength, endurance, and sparring, things he could accept. But to be outdone in knowledge of monster transformations, that was too much for his pride. "As a man, I can't let myself be shown up like this," he thought. So he focused on trying to learn more about how to form a nucleus and transform. He spent the entire day thinking about it, while Ancient Ape's stomach growled in hunger. She didn't complain though, and when it was finally evening, she brought back groceries and reminded him to start the fire for dinner. By then, Lyneshen had completely lost his patience. "Can you stop pacing around in front of me? You're disturbing my meditation," he snapped. Ancient Ape gave him a confused look. "What's going on? Are you about to fire again?" Lyneshen was momentarily speechless. "I didn't plan to. I didn't even know what just happened." That's when he realized something. Both the burst breath and the transformation required focusing energy at a single point. Maybe that was why he'd unintentionally activated the burst breath just now. Thinking quickly, Lyneshen swallowed the energy back down to avoid any more unintended chaos, and surprisingly, this seemed to help him focus. A yellow light surrounded his body, and in the next moment, he had successfully formed a nucleus and transformed back into his human form. Lyneshen was ecstatic. Maybe this burst breath can help me circulate my energy, he thought. He felt like he could finally do some proper training in this form. His body felt lighter, and he was able to test his endurance by running around and his strength by doing pull-ups. He even decided to redefine what it meant to be an 8-second man, meaning he could do 10 pull-ups in 8 seconds. He got so excited that he kept training all through the night. By morning, Lyneshen was feeling great. Training in human form was much more comfortable, and it saved the environment. As he looked over at Ancient Ape and the little Tangerine, both sleeping soundly, he felt a sense of satisfaction. He quietly moved around them, testing out some new moves. Ancient Ape had transformed into human form as well, and she joined him in training. Finally, they could spar without any hesitation. Lyneshen joked, "If you can beat me, I'll reward you with 10 skewers of spicy grilled meat." Hearing about the reward, Ancient Ape instantly perked up. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. She raised her arm and slammed it down on Lyneshen before he even had a chance to say go. With a loud boom, Lyneshen found himself on the ground, face first. Ancient Ape cheered, "10 skewers are mine!" Lyneshen was too stunned to speak. "I didn't even say start yet," he muttered. But before he could do anything, she launched another fierce attack on him. It seemed like nothing got Ancient Ape more motivated than the promise of food. After a week of intense training, Ancient Ape's strength had grown by leaps and bounds, leaving Lyneshen far behind. Luckily, his daily meals had earned him over 600,000 evolution points. He decided to keep 100,000 points for later and use the rest for his evolution. Lyneshen called for Little Kun, and after thinking it over, he decided to invest all 500,000 evolution points into increasing his size. As the points were absorbed, a bright white light enveloped him, and bit by bit, his body began to grow. Ancient Ape stared in amazement as Lyneshen grew taller right before her eyes. Then the system chimes in with a notification. It told Lyneshen that because he had finally hit puberty, his ancient Kui Titan bloodline had officially awakened. Because of this, he shot up in height almost instantly, looking much bigger and stronger than before. Ancient Ape was totally confused, pointing at him and asking how he managed to grow so tall in just a few seconds. Lyneshen put on a proud face and joked that it was obviously because he was still growing, and that his healthy diet and strict workout schedule were paying off. While the poor ape was still trying to figure that out, Lyneshen pulled up the map of Abyss Island. He told her that he had found a nest of rotten reptiles in the misty southern forest and suggested they go there to test out their week's training, and more importantly, to roast those creatures for a barbecue feast. As soon as Ancient Ape heard that there would be skewers to eat, she got extremely excited and shouted that they needed to go and eradicate every single one of them. Lyneshen immediately facepalmed, realizing that he had definitely mastered the art of motivating a foodie. They arrived at a cave in the southern forest and spotted 3 reptile guards patrolling outside, standing over a pile of bones. Lyneshen wanted to play it smart and told the ape that since there were only a few, they should sneak up quietly. But when he turned his head to check on her, he found she had already disappeared. She was charging straight at the cave, yelling at the top of her lungs. Lyneshen sighed, wondering why she refused to understand the benefits of stealth. The reptile guard saw her coming and roared, trying to ambush her, but she was too strong. She landed a heavy elbow strike on one and then grabbed the other 2 with her large hands, smashing them together and defeating them instantly. Just after she dealt with the guards, a massive swarm of rotten reptiles poured out of the cave. Lyneshen caught up and asked if it was an easy fight, noting that her strength, speed, and reactions had leveled up nicely after their special training. He looked at the approaching horde and decided this was the perfect time to vent his frustration from his recent bad luck. Lyneshen and Ancient Ape began to tear through the minions. Even though the enemies were numerous, their attacks were weak, and Lyneshen felt like he was absolutely crushing them. He told the ape that no matter how many they defeated, he would season them all for her. Her eyes turned into little stars, and she demanded to eat 500 skewers. Lyneshen couldn't help but admire the fearless spirit of the little monsters as wave after wave attacked them. But suddenly, a roar echoed from inside the cave, and the reptiles stopped in their tracks. Under the confused gazes of the heroes, the monsters turned around and ran back into the cave. Lyneshen and the ape were bewildered, wondering why they were retreating right when things were getting interesting. Ancient Ape was furious that her dinner was escaping and looked like she was about to explode. Lyneshen suspected a trick since they didn't know what was inside, but the foodie ape didn't care. She roared and chased after them, shouting for her skewers to come back. Lyneshen was speechless at her impulsiveness, but quickly followed her to make sure she didn't get into trouble. Inside, the cave was dark, smelled of decay, and was completely empty. The monster compass showed no readings, which screamed trap. Lyneshen suggested they retreat and plan carefully, but suddenly, countless green eyes opened on the ceiling. A swarm of reptiles dropped from above, while others rushed out from the shadows surrounding them. They started spraying corrosive venom everywhere. Although the damage was low, the sheer number of attacks was annoying, like getting bitten by a swarm of mosquitoes. Lyneshen prepared a fire attack to clear the room, but just then, the cave shook violently. violently. A massive shadow slammed into Lyneshen, knocking him hard into the cave wall. It was a giant boss monster, the king's hand. It tried to bite him, but Lyneshen held its massive jaws open with his arms. He noticed a green energy ball charging up in its mouth and barely pushed the creature away in time. The venom hit the ground and hissed, showing how corrosive it was. The system revealed that this 60-meter-long beast was the son of the reptile king. Lyneshen wondered if capturing it would force the king to leave the island. While he was thinking, the giant launched another venom bomb. Lyneshen dodged, noting that the attack was strong enough to punch through the cave walls. He thought he could avoid them since they were slow, but then the creature's head bulged and it began to glow green. It unleashed a rapid-fire barrage of venom bombs. Lyneshen was shocked by the speed and couldn't dodge them all, taking a direct hit that crashed him to the ground. The boss looked exhausted after the attack, drooling and stopping for a moment. Seeing her friend knocked down, Ancient Ape went berserk. She jumped onto the stalactites on the ceiling, shaking off the crawlers, and swung toward the boss. She dropped down and landed a massive punch right on the big creature's face, actually flipping its enormous body over. But the boss wasn't finished. It dug its legs into the walls to stabilize itself and charged up again. Lyneshen warned her to be careful. The ape ducked the attack easily and mocked the monster, saying its skills were nothing compared to Lynshen's breath attack. However, the situation took a weird turn. The venom bombs that missed her suddenly curved back around in midair and targeted her from behind. Lyneshen shouted a warning, but it was too late. She was hit in the back, stumbled, and then knocked away by the boss. Lyneshen tried to rush over but was blocked by the small reptiles. He realized they were climbing on him and gnawing away. He activated his thorn armor to clear the crowd and rushed to save the ape, slapping the boss away with his tail just as it was about to attack her again. The boss fired more shots at the ceiling. Lyneshen thought it was missing, but the shots hit the small reptiles on the roof and instantly bounced down toward him and the ape. Lyneshen realized with shock that this was a team skill. The small reptiles acted as walls to bounce the shots. He stepped in front of the ape and took the hits. He realized he had underestimated them. They weren't just dumb creatures. The boss prepared another volley. Lyneshen pushed the ape aside and used his tail to knock away the catcher reptiles. He told the boss to try playing marbles again, now that he was taking out its teammates. The boss roared, and suddenly the minions scattered everywhere, covering the floor and ceiling to create more bounce angles. The boss took a deep breath for a massive attack. Lyneshen used his dragon roar to disrupt it. The attack worked, and the boss slipped, spraying the venom wildly in all directions. But the plan backfired. Now the shots were bouncing randomly everywhere in a chaotic mess. Lyneshen and the ape were barely dodging the unpredictable attacks. Lyneshen realized that if they didn't finish this quickly, they would be exhausted. He noticed the catchers preparing to bounce more shots and used his radioactive heat ray to blast them. He discovered that the burnt reptiles couldn't bounce the shots anymore. He decided to ignore the bombs for a second and focus on scorching the minions to break their combo. While he was distracted, the boss appeared behind him and slashed his leg with its scythe-like legs. Lyneshen fell, and a venom bomb bounced toward his head. Ancient Ape shouted a warning and casually grabbed a reptile corpse, throwing it at the bomb to deflect it. Lyneshen was relieved to see that the bouncing ability was passive. Even the defeated ones could reflect shots. Inspired, Lyneshen grabbed a reptile corpse too, entering table tennis mode. He tried to use the corpse as a racket to hit the venom bombs back. The boss was confused and fired more shots. Lyneshen confidently shouted for it to watch his spike, but he completely missed the ball and took the hit with his body. He frantically waved his racket, complaining that his aim was terrible and that it looked much easier in videos. A bomb hit him on the head, and he threw the racket away in pain. Ancient Ape swooped in and deflected all the incoming bombs. She asked if he was okay, giving him a thumbs up and laughing that it was her turn to protect him. The boss went crazy, spewing even more venom. Ancient Ape used her upgraded gorilla dual-wield style, moving so fast she left after images as she slapped the attacks away. Lyneshen was starry-eyed, acting like a total fanboy. The boss roared, and the minions changed formation again. The boss fired at the ceiling, and the shots bounced from all directions. Ancient Ape was getting annoyed. She started moving at blinding speed, knocking everything away. Lyneshen realized that simply blocking wasn't enough because the shots kept coming faster. He told her to aim the attacks back at the boss to disrupt it. Ancient Ape managed to hit the venom bombs back toward the creature, but in a shocking twist, the boss used its massive tail to volley the shots right back at them. Lyneshen was stunned that the boss had such a trick up its sleeve. Now, both the Ancient Ape and the monster were going all out, locked in an intense high-speed tennis match of survival. Just as the venom monster bounced the attacks back, Lyneshen was already prepared. He instantly activated his ultimate move, the burst breath. The powerful blast knocked down all the incoming venom bombs and shot straight toward the boss. Although the creature tried to jump away, the blast still grazed it. With a loud crash, the massive monster fell heavily to the ground. As the dust settled, the boss looked like a mess. It was missing 2 legs, and 2 of its tails had been blasted right off. Ancient Ape flashed a peace sign, cheering that her dragon brother was mighty. Lyneshen, however, was trembling, sweating profusely, and feeling much leaner than before. Seeing the monster preparing to spit again, he grabbed the ape and ran toward the cave exit, shouting that they had to leave immediately, because he had used up his daily limit for burst breath. Seeing them flee, the venom monster became furious. It roared and chased after them. Lyneshen and Ancient Ape sprinted hard and managed to run out of the cave, disappearing from the monster's sight. But just as the giant creature burst out of the cave entrance, Ancient Ape suddenly tripped it, sending it flying face first into the ground. Lyneshen smirked, thinking that his dirty tricks were truly unbeatable. He revealed that running away was just a fake-out to provoke the monster and draw it out of the cave where it had the advantage. He proudly challenged the monster to try bouncing attacks now that there were no walls. Seeing his smug expression, the monster roared at the sky and began to shake its body. Suddenly, countless rotten reptiles appeared behind the heroes, but instead of attacking Lyneshen, they crawled right past him and prostrated themselves at the boss's feet. They climbed onto the monster's severed limbs, and as green fluid oozed out, the limbs miraculously regenerated. Lyneshen was dazzled, wondering if the fluid was some kind of miracle medicine. He quickly tested it on himself, but it had no effect at all. While he was distracted, the boss fully healed and roared, mocking him. It sprayed venom bombs again. Lyneshen remained calm and told Ancient Ape to knock them all into the air. She stepped forward with her double axes and swatted the bombs away easily. She taunted the big guy, saying that outside the cave, his ping-pong game was useless. Seeing its tactics failing, the monster roared again. In a shocking move, it turned toward its own minions and began eating them. Lyneshen was confused, wondering if it was so mad it couldn't tell friend from foe. But the minions didn't run. They rushed to be eaten as if it was their mission. Lyneshen realized the boss was powering up and shouted for the ape to stop it. He told her to jump high and attack the big one while he held off the small ones. Ancient Ape leaped into the air and plunged toward the boss. The monster sidestepped her attack, took a deep breath, and sprayed a fresh volley of venom bombs. She roared and tried to slap them away, but her weapon, the insect racket, suddenly broke. She took the full force of the attack and was sent flying backward. Lyneshen panicked and ran to check on her, but the monster targeted him next. He hit the ground and started rolling around, constantly changing direction. As he rolled, he picked up the small reptiles, getting them stuck to his back. The monster kept firing, but the shots bounced off the live armor on Lynshen's back. The monster sensed something was wrong and stopped. Lyneshen laughed, revealing that he had been rolling around just to create this thorn armor. However, maintaining the armor was draining his energy. To end the battle quickly, he charged at the boss. The creature started firing like a machine gun, but every shot bounced off Lynshen's shield of minions. He shouted for the monster to go down and rammed into it with the spikes on his back. The boss was knocked back, its body riddled with holes, and it crashed to the ground. Seizing the opportunity, Lyneshen rushed forward, bit onto the monster's forelimb, and tore it off with a powerful tug. At the same time, electricity flickered around his body, gathering into a radioactive heat ray. He blasted the monster at point-blank range. Green fluid sprayed everywhere as the monster's limbs were severed again. The creature roared one last time, and the remaining minions gathered around to be devoured so it could heal. Lyneshen realized the monster wasn't regenerating this time. It was charging up for a final desperate move. He was at his limit and couldn't hold his armor much longer. He charged again, mocking the monster for trying the same tactic without limbs to support itself. But the monster's mouth flashed with a blinding light. A massive giant venom bomb formed and was spat out with a deafening roar. Lyneshen went berserk seeing the size of the thing. He quickly turned his back, trying to use the minions to bounce it, but the force was too strong, and he was being dragged backward. He shouted for Ancient Ape to help. She rushed over, shouting for him to hold on, but clumsily slammed right into his stomach. Lyneshen groaned, asking if she was trying to finish him off herself, but thankfully, with their combined strength, they managed to push the giant bomb back. Lyneshen shouted that he was returning the gift and released his most powerful burst breath. The blast shattered the giant bomb and pierced right through the monster's head. With a final crash, the venom monster fell, completely defeated. Lyneshen collapsed, totally drained. He couldn't believe a random raid turned into such a tough boss fight, joking that his luck was unparalleled. Ancient Ape laughed and praised him. Just then, Lyneshen noticed the dead gray land beneath his feet was miraculously sprouting green grass and butterflies. Little Kun, the system guide, explained that the reptiles contained corruption that suppressed life. Killing the boss released pure energy that healed the land. Lyneshen asked if this meant they just needed to defeat the kings and the 6 giants to save the island instead of every single monster. Little Kun confirmed this was the plan, save the world and level up at the same time. But first, Lyneshen needed food. Ancient Ape had already prepared the skewers and asked him to start a fire. Lyneshen sighed, saying he was out of energy, and decided to teach her how to make fire by friction. Under his coaching, the impatient ape finally managed to spark a small flame. She happily started grilling, while Lyneshen waited to eat. An hour passed. Lynshen's stomach was growling, but the food wasn't ready. Another hour went by. Lyneshen complained that he was going to starve. Ancient Ape, furious and sweating, flipped flipped the grill over and roared, asking why the food wouldn't cook. Lyneshen inspected the meat and realized it hadn't changed at all. Little Kun explained that normal fire couldn't cook these creatures because their energy didn't belong to this world. Only Lyneshen's alien burst breath or heat ray could cook and effectively eliminate them. Lyneshen suddenly realized why Ancient Ape's parents never returned. No matter how strong they were, they couldn't truly defeat these monsters, only he could. He decided not to tell the ape this sad truth. Desperate for energy, Lyneshen decided to eat it raw. He took a bite and immediately regretted it. It was disgusting and burned his mouth like toxic waste, but he swallowed it for the evolution points, pretending it was just a super spicy hot pot. Once he had enough energy, he used his burst breath to properly light the fire pit. Ancient Ape watched the meat finally cook and fell into deep thought. She realized that in all their battles, it was always Lynshen's fire that secured the victory. She felt like she hadn't been much help. Lyneshen noticed she looked down but thought she might just be hangry. Meanwhile, a dark shadow flew over and landed on a nearby mountain. It was the death lark and its winged minions. The lark was shocked to see the venom monster defeated. It turned out the lark used to have a full head of hair, but a fight with venom had left it bald. It had come for revenge but saw that Lyneshen had already done the job. Its minion asked if they should attack the weakened heroes, but the lark decided to let them go and hunt a wolf instead, clearly intimidated by the fact that they took down Venom. Back at the camp, Lyneshen received a notification. He had devoured the king's hand and was rewarded with a new skill, Explosive Bomb, a weaker, rapid-fire version of his breath attack that could bounce twice. He also got 2 million evolution points for devouring a mysterious realm creature. Little Kun explained that the corruption energy came from a mysterious realm, a hidden dimension formed during an ancient disaster where prehistoric creatures were preserved. Venom and his kind came from an underground entrance to this realm. Lyneshen got excited, imagining all the loot and points he could get if he entered that realm. Finally, Little Kun opened the system shop. Lyneshen searched and found the life fruit he had given Ancient Ape before. It was expensive, 500,000 points, but he bought it anyway. He noticed Ancient Ape's wounds from the corrosive acid weren't healing, especially the bald spot on her back. He gave her the fruit to heal her, while the thought of baldness made him wonder whatever happened to that death lark bird. After Ancient Ape swallowed the life fruit, a vibrant green light enveloped her body. In seconds, not only did her wounds heal completely, but she also grew noticeably taller. She looked at herself in amazement and immediately asked Lyneshen if he had any more of those magical fruits, telling him to send her a few more. Lyneshen rolled his eyes and retorted that they weren't cabbages he picked up by the roadside. He paid good money for them. Seeing how effective the fruit was, Lyneshen thought it was a solid investment for the future. He even considered using it as a bargaining chip to negotiate with that bald bird they kept running into. Just then, Ancient Ape flashed a mischievous smile. She stood next to him and pointed out that she was finally taller than her dragon brother. Lyneshen smirked and warned her to watch out. He opened his system menu and dumped all his remaining 1.5 million evolution points into his height stat. Instantly, he was surrounded by a blinding golden light. Ancient Ape had to cover her eyes because it was so bright. When she looked up again, she was shocked and confused to see that Lyneshen had suddenly grown massive, towering over her once more. Lyneshen felt smug, thinking that explaining cheats to her would be a waste of time. Excited to test his new power, he announced he was going to try out his new skill. Ancient Ape saw his dorsal fin glowing and jumped back in fright, asking what he was doing. Lyneshen gathered energy in his mouth and fired an explosive bomb toward a nearby rotten reptile nest. Ancient Ape was confused, noting it looked different from his usual breath attack. The bomb hit the nest but unexpectedly bounced back. Ancient Ape panicked and hit the deck to dodge. The bomb hit a mountain wall and bounced again, flying high into the sky. Lyneshen was impressed, realizing he could use this to hit multiple targets. Ancient Ape asked if this was the same bouncing ability the venom monster had used. Meanwhile, the death lark bird was flying nearby with its minions, searching for the wolverine. Suddenly, it felt a chill down its spine. It turned around just in time to see the bouncing bomb rocketing toward it. In a panic, it grabbed a minion to use as a shield. The bomb missed, and the bird sighed in relief, realizing the venom monster hadn't come back to life. It was just those two troublemakers again. It swore to settle the score next time. 2 days later, Lyneshen and Ancient Ape were training. Lyneshen told her they were going to raid another reptile nest because they were out of food. Ancient Ape's eyes lit up at the mention of fresh ingredients. Suddenly, a pterosaur cry echoed above them. They looked up and saw two mutated pterosaurs fighting each other in the sky. One was pecking fiercely at the other. Lyneshen squinted and realized there was something on the neck of one of the birds. A rider. It was a handsome man with long hair and 2 swords on his back. He had one sword buried deep in the pterosaur's neck. The man pulled out his second sword, leaped into the air, and slashed at the other bird. Lyneshen was stunned. He couldn't believe his eyes. A human riding a pterosaur and fighting mid-air. 2 more pterosaurs joined the fight, attacking the rider. The man jumped off his dying mount, landed on another bird, and stabbed it in the eye. The bird screamed and tried to shake him off, but he leaped onto its back and slashed its wings. The bird plummeted toward the ground, right where Lyneshen and Ancient Ape were standing. Ancient Ape shouted a warning. She instantly powered up into her monster form. uprooted a massive tree, and hurled it like a javelin at the falling bird. The tree smashed into the pterosaur, sending it crashing into the forest. The rider nimbly jumped through the debris and landed in front of them. He muttered that he had finally found them. He looked at Ancient Ape and recognized her, then sniffed the air and confirmed that Lyneshen must be the Thunder Dragon. Lyneshen was totally confused and asked who he was. He wondered if he had accidentally traveled into a cultivation novel. The rider held his sword to his face and coldly said that they had met before. He was the Wolverine who wanted the sword. Lyneshen was shocked. He asked if this was his human form and wondered why every animal on this island seemed to be able to turn into a human these days. The Wolverine declared he wanted a rematch. He claimed he lost last time because he was in wolf form, but now that he was in human form, he wouldn't lose. Lyneshen thought the guy was crazy for challenging a giant dragon while in a tiny human body. He joked that maybe the guy ate an unripe fruit because he still had a wolf head. The Wolverine ignored the insults and leaped at Lyneshen, slashing with his sword. Lyneshen dodged and yelled that he never accepted the duel. The Wolverine got angry and slashed wildly, shouting at him to fight back or die. Lyneshen cursed inwardly, realizing his human skin wasn't as tough as his dragon scales. Ancient Ape saw her friend in danger and roared, smashing her fist at the Wolverine. He dodged easily, using his speed to weave around her attack. He rushed at Lyneshen again, complaining that the ape fought like a wild beast and knew nothing about martial arts. He only wanted to fight Lyneshen. Ancient Ape, furious that she couldn't catch the little guy, punched the ground in anger, missing Lynshen's foot by inches. Lyneshen yelled at her to watch where she was swinging. The Wolverine jumped behind Lyneshen and taunted the ape. Lyneshen realized it was a trap, but the hot-headed ape fell for it instantly. She charged at the Wolverine, destroying rocks in her path. Lynshen sighed at her temper. Suddenly, the Wolverine held a knife to Lynshen's neck and whispered that he knew Lyneshen was actually a human. Lyneshen played dumb, asking if he meant his current form. He laughed and said he preferred fighting as a monster because it was stronger. He mocked the Wolverine for fighting with a tiny body against giant monsters. The Wolverine sneered, explaining that human bodies were best for martial arts. He leaped up and lunged at Lynshen's throat. Lyneshen instinctively raised his arm to block. The Wolverine flipped over him, stepping on his arm with a smug look. He pointed out that Lyneshen used his hands like a human would, proving his theory. Just as the Wolverine prepared to strike Lynshen's eye, a massive shadow flew over them. The Wolverine looked up calmly and said she wouldn't give him a second chance. Suddenly, the death lark swooped down and grabbed the Wolverine with its talons. Lyneshen was furious that someone dared to snatch people in his territory. He fired an explosive bomb at the bird. The lark panicked, recognizing the attack, and used a minion as a shield again. The bomb bounced off, and the lark was confused why it didn't explode. But a second later, the bomb bounced back and hit her directly. She screamed in pain and dropped the Wolverine. Lyneshen watched the Wolverine fall and thought about how the guy had held back during their fight. He realized the Wolverine could be a valuable ally against the reptiles. He sent Ancient Ape to catch the falling warrior while he ran to find the lark. When he arrived at the crash site, the lark was gone, but he heard a rustle in the bushes and found an injured girl hanging from a vine. Lynshen's eyes popped out. It was the ugly bird in human form, and she was actually pretty. The bird girl yelled at him to shut up, calling him an ugly dragon. She ranted that he had ruined her plans multiple times, saving the ape who stole her fruit, stealing her fruit himself, and now stopping her from catching the Wolverine who also stole her fruit. She claimed she would forgive him since he defeated the venom monster, but warned him to leave. Lyneshen chuckled and said he had originally planned to roast her but decided to spare her. He offered a truce to fight the rotten reptiles together. The bird girl scoffed, refusing to team up with an ugly dragon. She claimed she would have killed Venom herself if she hadn't been busy. Lyneshen teased her about getting beaten bald by the monster. She blushed furiously. Lyneshen offered her a fruit to regrow her feathers. Just when he thought she might agree, she laughed and revealed she knew he was just stalling for time so the ape could save the Wolverine. She told him to look up. Lyneshen turned and saw two ancient pterosaurs holding the Wolverine and, shockingly, Ancient Ape. They had captured her too. The bird girl sneered and pulled out 3 glowing feathers. She said she never saw him as a threat and unleashed a wind blade attack. The blade sliced through a massive tree and cut Lyneshen. She released a second feather, summoning a powerful tornado. The immense pressure pinned Lyneshen to the ground. She declared that the first feather was punishment for saving the ape, and the second was for helping the Wolverine. Countless trees crashed down on top of Lyneshen, trapping him completely under the weight. At that moment, the bird girl pulled out a third glowing feather and smirked at Lyneshen contemptuously. Lyneshen struggled to lift his body, realizing that in his current state, another hit like that would leave him permanently disabled, or worse. But then, unexpectedly, she put the feather away. She looked down at him and said she had planned to punish him for stealing her fruit, but seeing him on his knees was satisfying enough. She asked if he finally realized the gap in their strength. With a burst of golden light, she transformed back into her giant bird form and flew off after her minions. Lyneshen was confused. He knew this ugly bird wasn't the merciful type, so why did she let him him go when she could have easily finished him. But seeing Ancient Ape and the Wolverine about to be carried away by the pterosaurs, he didn't have time to overthink it. He mustered all his strength to stand up, gathered energy in his mouth, and fired an explosive bomb at the fleeing bird. The death lark turned her head and scoffed, asking if he thought she was stupid enough to be hit by that slow ball of light again. She knew it bounced 3 times before exploding and prepared to kick it away. Lyneshen fired several more bombs, shouting that she might dodge one, but could she dodge 3? The bird looked at him like he was an idiot, saying his attacks were useless no matter how many he fired. But Lyneshen smirked. His target wasn't her, it was the minions behind her. He declared that while he might have failed physical education, he was a master of geometry. As the bombs bounced for the second time, they ricocheted off the terrain and slammed directly into the pterosaurs carrying the Wolverine and Ancient Ape. Fireworks exploded in the sky as the minions were hit. The death lark was dumbfounded, realizing she had been used to distract herself from the real targets. Meanwhile, the pterosaur carrying Ancient Ape was still struggling to stay airborne. Ancient Ape seized the moment, grabbed its wing, flipped over, and landed on top of it, surfing the bird down to a safe landing. Lyneshen rushed over to check on her. She apologized for failing to rescue the Wolverine. Lyneshen reassured her, pointing out that the Wolverine had fallen into the forest and should be fine. He told her to find something to smash the ugly bird with. Ancient Ape picked up the unconscious pterosaur she had landed on and hurled it at the death lark. The bird dodged easily. Lyneshen was annoyed that she wasted food he hadn't devoured yet, but followed up with a burst breath. The lark dodged that too, furious that they dared to attack her precious feathers. Suddenly, a pterosaur shot up from the forest below with the Wolverine lying on its belly. He sprang up and lunged at the death lark. She dodged backward, but the Wolverine was faster. He sped up and snipped off the few remaining feathers on top of her head. Tears welled up in her eyes as she watched her precious feathers fall, diving to catch them. Lyneshen and Ancient Ape watched in disbelief. The Wolverine landed, his eyes glowing gold, and chuckled. He claimed that as long as he could predict the movement and target the weakness, there was nothing he couldn't cut. Lyneshen realized the Wolverine was the bird's natural nemesis. He lavished praise on the warrior, inviting him to join their team. But the Wolverine was unappreciative, scoffing at Lynshen's size and saying he would be useless in the jungle. Lyneshen thought the guy held a grudge but shamelessly agreed, admitting that the human form had its uses. He proposed they deal with the bird first, and then he would transform into a human for a proper duel. The Deathlark was annoyed by their plotting, calling Lyneshen ungrateful for attacking her after she spared him. She knew she couldn't beat all 3 of them, so she prepared to flee. Lyneshen stopped her, blackmailing her with her own fallen feathers. He gave her an ultimatum: join them to fight the Reptile King, or leave her magical feathers behind. The bird scoffed, doubting they could stop her from flying away. Lyneshen reminded her that the Wolverine was watching from the trees. She tried to take off, but the Wolverine instantly appeared above her, slashing down. She ducked but lost her balance and crashed to the ground. She let out a distress call, and her minions dived at the heroes. Ancient Ape swung a tree trunk like a baseball bat, smacking a pterosaur out of the air. The Deathlark took the chance to run on foot, trying to gain enough speed to take off. Lyneshen thought she looked like an ostrich and chased after her, mocking her skinny legs. He accelerated past her, spun around, and slammed into her with a dragon kill body slam, sending her flying hundreds of meters. He asked again if she wanted to join them. The Wolverine looked confused, asking when he agreed to join this crusade. Lyneshen ignored him and focused on the bird. The Deathlark exploded in anger, saying he was no different from the stupid ape. Just then, the Wolverine slashed again, cutting off her tail feathers and shredding them to pieces. The Deathlark screamed in rage. She revealed that each feather contained the life essence of a monster she had saved. It turned out she was turning monsters into humans to save them from the island's corruption, storing their cores in her feathers. Lynshen's expression darkened. He realized she had been hunting Ancient Ape and the Wolverine to save them by force. She declared that the island was facing a disaster and that they had wasted the goodwill of the monsters she carried. Her tail began to spin rapidly, summoning a massive hurricane. The wind was terrifying, uprooting trees and hurling stones. Even Lyneshen, as strong as Godzilla, was blown away. Ancient Ape shouted from a deep pit, telling him to take cover. Lyneshen jumped in, wondering how they could fight a natural disaster. Suddenly, the wind weakened. He looked out and saw the Deathlark chasing the Wolverine. He wondered why she was so obsessed with him. Was it love? Just then, a flock of Dimorphodon pterosaurs arrived. These small, fast, sharp-toothed flyers could strip prey to the bone in minutes. The Deathlark signaled them to attack Lyneshen and Ancient Ape. Ancient Ape wanted to fight and eat them, but Lyneshen warned her that their teeth were sharper than blades. He told her to run and help the Wolverine while he held them off. He used his dragon roar to stun the flock and whip them with his tail. Ancient Ape broke out and ran toward the Wolverine. The pterosaurs recovered and swarmed Lyneshen, biting him relentlessly. furiously. Lyneshen got angry and started biting back. He devoured one and gained 900 evolution points, plus a 5,000-point bonus for a new species. The system used the points to instantly heal his wounds. Lyneshen realized he could out-heal the damage as long as he kept eating. He challenged the chickens to a contest of who could eat faster. Meanwhile, the death lark, wrapped in her tornado shield, furiously attacked the wolverine. He dodged easily but couldn't break through her wind barrier. Knowing he would eventually lose stamina, he sprinted away, hoping to draw her attention so the others could escape. He regretted not getting to fight Lyneshen properly. Suddenly, Ancient Ape dropped from the sky and shielded the wolverine. He looked at her, annoyed, calling her a big fool and telling her this wasn't her fight. Seeing Ancient Ape arrive, the death lark unleashed a violent death tornado without hesitation. The blast hit the ape directly, sending her flying backward hundreds of meters. Wolverine immediately jumped in front of her, telling her to step back because he was the target. He wanted to handle the bird himself. Ancient Ape groaned and thanked him sarcastically, saying that Dragon Brother taught them to share the burden if they were friends. Wolverine snapped back, calling her a silly girl and saying she was just getting in the way, but Ancient Ape refused to leave, declaring that if they were going to lose, they would lose together. She wouldn't abandon him. This moment triggered a memory for Wolverine. He remembered his old master telling him not to follow because he was just a little soldier who would get in the way. Back then, Wolverine had refused to leave his master's side. Seeing the same loyalty in Ancient Ape made him realize these two were actually pretty adorable. While they were having their moment, the Deathlark appeared out of nowhere and grabbed Ancient Ape with her talons. Wolverine went berserk, slashing at the bird's leg, but his attacks did nothing. He put one blade in his mouth, pressed down on the other with his hand for extra force, and unleashed his special move, Dazzle Slash. The powerful attack forced the bird to stagger back, dropping the ape. But as the bird fell back, she whipped up a tornado that hurled massive boulders at Wolverine. He was hit midair and sent flying. Luckily, Ancient Ape caught him before he hit the ground and carried him toward Lyneshen. By this time, Lyneshen had finished off the small pterosaurs using his lifesteal ability. Seeing Ancient Ape return with a Wolverine, he gave her a thumbs up, impressed she managed to rescue him. Wolverine, however, wasn't happy. He complained that fighting that monster was suicide because her attacks were like natural disasters. Lyneshen put on his serious face and outlined a plan. He wanted to lure the Deathlark into a narrow enclosed space to trap her. Wolverine was impressed by how cool Lyneshen looked when he was thinking. He volunteered to be the bait since the bird was after the crystal core in his body. Ancient Ape suggested using the venom monster's cave since the bird had lost a fight there before. Lyneshen didn't want Ancient Ape to be the bait, but just then, the Deathlark spotted them and dove down. Ancient Ape shouted that she knew the forest best and volunteered to lead the bird away. Lyneshen realized she was right. She was capable. He agreed but told her to ride Little Tangerine, the saber-toothed tiger, for speed. He called the tiger over and had Wolverine hide inside his mouth for a surprise attack. The plan began. Ancient Ape rode the tiger toward the venom cave. She realized the bird wasn't following her but looking for Wolverine. She told the tiger to wait, climbed a tree and beat her chest, taunting the bird and calling her ugly. Two random saber-toothed tigers nearby watched her antics disdainfully, saying that was exactly how their cousins died, falling for traps and getting eaten. Before they could finish mocking her, the Deathlark swooped down, uprooting trees with her wind. The tigers hugged each other in terror. Ancient Ape jumped down, landed on Little Tangerine, and they bolted into the bushes. The Deathlark assumed Ancient Ape was weak and decided to eat her to replenish energy before catching Wolverine. She tried to call her minions to track them, but when she looked back, she saw Lyneshen eating her pterosaurs. Furious, she summoned a new flock of mutated dodos and archaeopteryxes to chase the ape. Little Tangerine darted through the bushes, but the archaeopteryxes acted like reconnaissance drones, blocking their path while dodos attacked. Lyneshen, communicating remotely, told Ancient Ape to take out the flyers first. She jumped off the tiger, used a vine to snare one bird, and caused the other two to crash into it. She proudly called it the bird-catching net technique. Lyneshen warned her that the Deathlark was right behind her. A gust of wind nearly blew her away, but she held onto a tree. Lyneshen appeared behind the bird, ramming her with his thorn armor, and fired a wolf bomb, which was actually the Wolverine riding an explosive bomb. The bird dodged the initial shot, mocking Lynshen's aim, but then Wolverine stomped on the bomb mid-air, redirecting it to hit the bird from behind. As the bomb exploded, Wolverine followed up with a slash to the same spot. The double impact sent the bird crashing down. Ancient Ape sighed in relief, but the bird wasn't done. Furious, the Deathlark went berserk and chased them with a horde of dodos. They reached the entrance of the venom cave. The dodos suddenly stopped, terrified to enter the dead monster's lair. Ancient Ape ran inside and realized the bird wasn't following. The Deathlark was yelling at her minions, reminding them Venom was dead. Ancient Ape had a brilliant idea. She mimicked Venom's roar from deep inside the cave. The minions panicked and fled, thinking the boss was still alive. The Deathlark was enraged by her cowardly minions. Just then, Wolverine appeared on a hill and cut a massive boulder loose, rolling it toward her. She braced herself to stop it, but Lyneshen leaped from the top of the hill, combining his rolling gourd and thorn armor moves. He crashed into her with tremendous force, and both of them tumbled deep deep into the cave. Lyneshen landed hard and realized he had reverted to his human form because the impact was too painful. He looked around and saw the death lark had also turned back into her human form, a girl with torn stockings. He taunted her, asking if she was convinced now that she had been beaten back to her original form. The girl rushed over and bit him on the arm. Lyneshen complained that even Wolverine didn't bite like that. He saw scars on her neck and felt a pang of sympathy. He tried to check her injury, but she slapped his hand away. She realized she was in human form with torn clothes and blushed, backing away. Wolverine immediately held his blade to her neck, warning her not to move. Lyneshen teased her, asking if she admitted defeat now that the three of them had taken down a disaster-level monster. The girl remained defiant, claiming she hadn't used her full power because she didn't want to waste her precious feathers on weaklings. Lyneshen pointed out that if she transformed back now, she would be practically bald. This hit a nerve, and she got angry, threatening to swallow them whole. Lyneshen smiled calmly and said that in this narrow cave, he wasn't afraid of her big form. Then, he asked her seriously about the wound on her neck, noting that he and Ancient Ape had similar scars before. The bird girl suddenly became serious. She explained that the rotten reptiles were incredibly resilient. No matter how bad their injuries were, they recovered quickly. The only way she found to permanently defeat them was to consume them whole. But their bodies were full of toxins, which caused her immense pain and left those scars on her neck as a side effect. Ancient Ape smacked her lips and chimed in, saying she used to eat them raw too. She agreed they were disgusting and gave her stomachache, but ever since meeting Lyneshen, things had changed. His special flames not only killed the reptiles for good, but also roasted them perfectly. With a little seasoning, they were actually delicious. Bird's sister was reluctant to admit it, but she conceded that Lynshen's flames were the only thing on the island that could truly kill the reptiles, something no other monster could claim. Hearing this, Lyneshen was thrilled. He asked if this meant she would join their team to take down the Reptile King. Bird's sister scoffed, haughtily replying that just because 3 rookies beat her once didn't mean she respected them. She told him to dream on. She needed to observe them more. Then she snapped at Wolverine to get his crappy blade out of her face. Lyneshen laughed, deciding to take her non-refusal as a yes. He declared they were all partners now and should get to know each other. He introduced himself as coming from the deep sea and explained he stayed on the island because of its beauty and Ancient Ape. He asked Wolverine why he used human weapons and fighting styles, and asked Bird's sister about her history with the transformation fruit tree. Wolverine turned away, grumbling that he never agreed to join their crusade, so he wasn't sharing his backstory. Bird's sister mocked him, calling him a coward who wouldn't dare face the king. Wolverine fired back, saying he wasn't like her. He couldn't just discard his subordinates because he had people to protect. Bird's sister retorted that he shouldn't act like a saint, implying the people he protected were junk. Wolverine got angry, and the tension in the cave skyrocketed. Lyneshen felt helpless watching them glare at each other. He shouted at them to cut it out since they were friends now. He turned to Bird's sister and asked how she found the transformation fruit and learned about condensing life essence. She haughtily refused to tell him. Lyneshen sighed at these 2 proud weirdos. To show his sincerity, he bought 2 life fruits from the system shop. He tossed one to Bird's sister, saying it would treat her baldness. She immediately clawed at him, screaming that he was the bald one. Ancient Ape jumped in to explain that the fruit not only healed wounds but also boosted strength. She begged Lyneshen for another one, but he told her to let their new friends have them first. Bird's sister examined the fruit, realizing it must be real based on the ape's reaction. Lyneshen handed the second fruit to Wolverine. He asked the warrior why he seemed unaffected by the transformation fruit's energy, unlike Ancient Ape, who almost died from it. Wolverine realized the unstable energy was what he had been feeling, but as a warrior, he just assumed it was another form of training to push his limits. Lyneshen clapped him on the shoulder, praising him, but the next second, the robust Wolverine suddenly collapsed, sitting down heavily. Lyneshen told him not to force it and to eat the life fruit to help his body resist the energy storm inside. He promised to teach Wolverine how to switch freely between human and monster forms. Bird's sister was shocked, saying that was impossible since the transformation was caused by unstable energy. She asked when Lyneshen had eaten the fruit. Lyneshen proudly claimed he was like the legendary healer Shenong, testing herbs for the greater good. Ancient Ape interrupted, muttering that she remembered him eating it by accident because he was greedy. Lyneshen ignored her, sticking to his righteous story. Bird's sister didn't believe him. Lyneshen proposed a deal, give him 1 transformation fruit, and he would prove he could control the energy by teaching Wolverine. Bird's sister was furious, blaming him for damaging the fruit tree last time. She asked where he got the fruit he gave Wolverine. Wolverine interjected, accusing the weird bird of hoarding the fruits for herself. She argued she did it for the island's safety, calling his clan junk again. They started fighting once more. Lyneshen intervened again, playing peacemaker. Bird's sister reluctantly agreed to the deal. She said she could give him a fruit, but he had to prove his claims first. If he could really control the energy, she would consider joining them. She warned them that the place where the fruit was hidden, the Swamp of Bones, was extremely dangerous. Wolverine groaned at the mention of the name. Bird's sister proudly stated that only flying monsters like her could go there there safely. Ground crawlers like them would sink. Wolverine retorted that he had chopped her down plenty of times despite her flying ability. Lyneshen, tired of their bickering, asked what the Swamp of Bones actually was. Bird's sister explained it was a monster graveyard filled with blinding fog, deadly traps, and carnivorous plants. Any monster that wandered in was doomed. Wolverine told Lyneshen not to risk it for him, saying he didn't plan on turning back into a giant wolf anyway. But hearing about carnivorous plants, Lynshen's eyes lit up. That sounded like a massive buffet of evolution points. He insisted on going. Ancient Ape loyally agreed to go wherever he went. Bird's sister thought they were idiots for wanting to go to such a dangerous place, but since they were determined, she offered to let her dodo birds carry them as compensation for the life fruit. Lyneshen declined, striking a pose and saying he and Ancient Ape would transform into monsters and walk there faster. Wolverine stopped him, explaining seriously why it was called the graveyard. Small monsters could cross, but giant ones like Lyneshen and Ancient Ape would sink instantly into the deep mud. He advised them to stay in human form and ride the dodos. Lyneshen realized Wolverine made a good point and thanked Bird's sister for the ride. He then noticed they hadn't eaten the life fruits yet and joked that they weren't poisoned. Wolverine took a bite without hesitation, and Bird's sister followed. They grimaced at the awful taste, but seconds later, a green light enveloped them. Bird's sister felt her body relax, and the scars on her neck began to itch as they healed. Realizing the benefits, they started wolfing down the fruits. Bird's sister looked at Lyneshen with starry eyes, hoping the fruit would regrow her feathers. She asked to trade a transformation fruit for more life fruits. Lyneshen politely declined. She pouted like a child, calling him stingy, and said she would only give him one transformation fruit since her stock was limited. Lyneshen laughed, saying one was all he needed. Once they left the cave, Bird's sister whistled, and several dodo birds waddled over. She told Lyneshen that these were their new mounts, but he was absolutely forbidden from eating them. Lyneshen promised he wouldn't chew on his transportation, no matter how hungry he got. He and Ancient Ape struck a pose and began to glow with golden light. Bird's sister watched in bewilderment as they effortlessly transformed back into their monster forms. She was shocked at how easily they controlled the transformation fruit's energy, something she struggled with. Lyneshen told his tiger, Little Tangerine, to head back and guard their home. They said goodbye to Bird's sister and marched toward the Swamp of Bones with the dodos following behind. By sunset, they reached a strange, foggy area. Wolverine pointed out that the swamp was just over the next hill. Lyneshen, feeling faint from hunger, suggested they rest and eat since he and the ape could only transform back into humans once a day. Ancient Ape's spirits lifted instantly at the mention of food, and she volunteered to hunt. Lyneshen gathered firewood. Soon they were enjoying a feast of skewers. Wolverine devoured the meat voraciously, tears streaming down his face as the flavor brought back memories of his master. Lyneshen smiled, knowing the way to a wolf's heart was through his stomach. He then dug up a beggar's chicken he had cooked underground. Wolverine took a bite and cried again, saying he hadn't tasted anything this good in over a decade. Lyneshen tried to pry for information about his past, but Wolverine shut him down, saying he would tell them when the time was right. He tried to convince them again to turn back, warning about the terrifying carnivorous plants in the swamp. Lyneshen got annoyed, calling him overbearing. He argued that Wolverine's human form was only a temporary solution, and that eventually, the energy would kill him. He declared they were friends, and he wouldn't watch a friend die and do nothing. Wolverine fell silent, touched by his naive loyalty. That night, Wolverine took the watch. He sat in a tree thinking about how his master called humans dangerous, yet this guy was as innocent as a wolf pup. Suddenly, he heard roaring and saw green tentacles waving in the distance. The next morning, they entered the swamp. At first, it seemed easy, almost like a jungle walk. Lyneshen commented that it wasn't so bad, but Wolverine warned him not to let his guard down. Ancient Ape spotted a strange-looking tree trunk and approached it out of curiosity. Wolverine shouted for her not to touch it. Suddenly, a leg shot out from the trunk. It was a giant dead tree mantis, a 7-meter-tall ambush predator. It raised its scythes to chop Ancient Ape. The dodo birds panicked. Ancient Ape leaped up to dodge, and the mantis sliced one of the poor dodos in half. When she landed, her feet sank deep into the swamp mud. She struggled to get out, but only sank deeper. Lyneshen shouted for her to stop moving and tried to get a dodo to pull her out. The mantis raised its scythe again. Wolverine rushed in and slashed the mantis, deflecting its attack just enough to miss Lyneshen, who used the distraction to pull Ancient Ape free. The mantis, frustrated, locked onto Wolverine. It chased him down, and another dodo bird fell victim to its blades. Wolverine leaped into the air, shouting for Lyneshen to take the ape and run. He unleashed a golden radiance slash, cutting through the mantis mid-air. Lyneshen caught him on the last remaining dodo bird just before he fell into the mud. Lyneshen lamented the loss of their rides, worrying that the bad-tempered bird sister would demand compensation. Wolverine suggested going back, but Lyneshen refused, saying he wouldn't be a laughingstock for that ugly bird. He came up with a new plan: use bark as surfboards and vines to pull themselves along. As they prepared, another scythe swung at them from behind. Wolverine pulled Lyneshen up just in time, but the last dodo bird was sliced in two. Lyneshen despaired. Their last ride was gone. Two more mantises appeared. Wolverine told them to climb the trees. It was their only safe spot. But as they climbed, the mantises spread their wings and flew up after them. Lyneshen panicked, forgetting that mantises could fly. One attacked Wolverine, who slid down the trunk to dodge and then stabbed it in the neck. The other two targeted Lyneshen. He dodged one slash but saw another coming. Annoyed that they were picking on him because he was small, he leaped onto the mantis's back. He channeled energy into his teeth and used his burst bite, tearing a chunk out of the insect. The mantis shook violently to throw him off. Just then, bubbles surfaced in the swamp below. A long red tongue shot out and wrapped around the mantis Lyneshen was riding. It was a massive swamp toad, 20 meters long. As the toad dragged the mantis down, Lyneshen jumped off. Ancient Ape swung by on a vine and caught his hand, pulling him to safety on a large tree. They lay flat on the branch, watching the toad swallow the mantis whole. Lyneshen whispered for everyone to stay still, thinking the toad only reacted to movement. But the toad suddenly inhaled and spat a massive glob of phlegm like a cannonball. It smashed the branch Wolverine was on, sending him falling. The toad's tongue shot out and wrapped around Wolverine. Desperate, Wolverine bit into a tree trunk, creating a tug-of-war between his jaw and the toad's tongue. Lyneshen and Ancient Ape swung over to help. Lyneshen shouted for Wolverine to throw him his blade so he could cut the tongue. Wolverine mumbled catch and tossed the sword. Lyneshen confidently reached out, and the blade slipped right through his fingers, falling into the swamp. That Wolverine cursed him, calling him a big idiot, and lost his grip on the tree. The toad pulled him down. Lyneshen yelled back that he was the idiot for letting go. He grabbed the severed scythe arm of a dead mantis and swung down. Just before Wolverine was swallowed, Lyneshen sliced the toad's tongue. Wolverine fell free, grabbed a vine, swung onto the toad's head, and plunged his remaining blade into its skull. The toad burst into light and was defeated. Wolverine shouted angrily for his lost sword. Lyneshen apologized profusely like a scolded grandson, promising to get him a new one. At that moment, Ancient Ape pointed in a direction and said the sword was over there. Wolverine immediately dropped to the ground, crawled over, and picked up his blade with tears streaming down his face, caressing it like it was his own child. After that little emotional reunion, Lyneshen had Wolverine and Ancient Ape collect bark and vines. He used the leaves to craft makeshift shoes for everyone to help traverse the swamp. Wolverine praised the shoes but asked curiously about the vines on Lynshen's back. Lyneshen explained they were makeshift grappling hooks, just in case. Wolverine remarked that humans were incredibly resourceful and that he still had a lot to learn from them. As they ventured deeper into the swamp of bones, a terrifying sound echoed through the fog, a human baby crying. Lyneshen was confused, wondering why a baby would be in such a dangerous place. Wolverine and Ancient Ape looked bewildered, never having heard such a sound before. Just as they were speculating if there were other humans nearby, the crying suddenly stopped. Lyneshen decided not to dwell on it and led them forward. Suddenly, the small hill behind them moved, two crimson eyes opened, and a massive shadow charged toward them. It was a giant salamander, 25 meters long and weighing 27 tons. It lunged with its sharp teeth, but the trio quickly jumped aside. The beast face-planted into the mud but recovered quickly, thrashing through the swamp after them. As the creature gained on them, Ancient Ape started falling behind. Lyneshen shouted for her to throw her vine hook at the branch above. She didn't hesitate, swinging herself up just in the nick of time as the salamander snapped its jaws below her. The monster thrashed furiously in the mud. Just then, Lyneshen shivered. He saw another pair of crimson eyes appear ahead. Another, even bigger monster was blocking their path. Wolverine yelled to retreat, but it was too late. Realizing they were trapped between two giant beasts, Lyneshen made a split-second decision. He recalled surviving being swallowed before and shouted that he would hold it off. He jumped down first, declaring he would figure something out from the inside. Wolverine remained unnervingly calm, as if this was just another Tuesday. The three of them were swallowed whole by the massive salamander. Inside the stomach, Lyneshen complained about something hitting his back. Ancient Ape wrinkled her nose at the terrible smell. Lyneshen, realizing he had missed out on devouring the mantis and toad earlier, decided not to waste this opportunity. He bit hard into the stomach wall. Ancient Ape immediately threw up, disgusted by the sight. The system alerted Lyneshen that he had successfully devoured part of the giant salamander, granting him 1,500 evolution points and a new skill, Giant Salamander's Cry. This skill allowed him to mimic the baby-like cry of the salamander to attract others. Lyneshen complained to his system guide, Little Coon, about getting such a useless skill. Wolverine pulled out his blade, asking if Lyneshen planned to eat his way out. He was confident he could slice the monster open from the inside. Suddenly, the stomach shook violently, and they heard rumbling. Lyneshen realized the salamander was fighting the other one outside. Soon, the movement stopped. Lyneshen had a bad feeling. If their host lost and got eaten by the bigger one, they would be crushed to death inside the double stomach. He told Wolverine to act fast. Wolverine's body glowed with golden light, and with a single slash, he cut the salamander in half from the inside. They escaped, gasping for fresh air. Wolverine was impressed that Lynshen's prediction was right. The other beast had already half swallowed their host. Ancient Ape was confused why Lyneshen was still eating the carcass. He grinned, saying the meat was tender and delicious, though he wished he could roast it. Ancient Ape immediately started drooling. They quickly left the area, with Ancient Ape carrying a huge chunk of meat on her back for a snack. They reached the depths of the swamp, where the mud was deeper and red mist obscured their vision. The mist carried a rotten smell that made them dizzy. Lynshen realized the scent was toxic. He summoned Little Kun and asked for gas masks. Little Kun quoted a robbery price of 10 million evolution points. Lynshen cursed the system and asked for a cheaper alternative. Little Kun suggested repairing torn clothes for 1,000 points. Lynshen tore off his clothes and handed pieces to his friends. He explained they needed to wet the cloth to filter the poison. Wolverine asked what to use to wet it. Lynshen awkwardly explained that animals use urine to mark territory, so, yeah, Wolverine nodded, saying it must be a human method. The two guys turned around to relieve themselves on the rags. Ancient Ape turned bright red with embarrassment. Lynshen, being a gentleman, offered her one of his prepared cloths since it was inconvenient for her. She struggled with the smell but had no choice. Equipped with their scented masks, they moved on. Suddenly, a massive titan beetle hissed and charged at them. It was attracted by the rotting smell of the nearby titan mushroom. Wolverine didn't hesitate. He leaped up and delivered a gold slash, killing the beetle instantly, but more beetles appeared, swarming them. They ran for their lives, leaping over roots. Suddenly, the beetles stopped chasing. Lynshen looked ahead and saw strange plants. A larger plant suddenly snapped shut, devouring the beetles. It was a mutated Venus flytrap. The remaining beetles, dumb as rocks, kept charging. Lynshen felt a shock and looked down to see a flytrap closing around him. He pushed Ancient Ape and Wolverine away just as the trap snapped shut, pinning him inside with spikes piercing his leg and shoulder. Ancient Ape tried desperately to pull him out. Wolverine prepared to cut the leaf, but a titan beetle charged in and smashed the plant, accidentally freeing Lynshen. The impact sent him tumbling backward. He shouted for Ancient Ape to stay back, seeing slick liquid on the ground, but she slipped, and they both fell into a pool of fluid with a splash. Lynshen surfaced and spat out the liquid. The system warned him they were inside a mutated pitcher plant filled with corrosive acid. The lid slammed shut above them. Lynshen dove under to find Ancient Ape, who was sinking fast. The acid burned his wounds. He found her trapped in the sticky mucus. Knowing she couldn't breathe underwater, he had no choice. He transformed back into his giant monster form inside the plant. His massive body sank into the muck, but he used his strength to grab Ancient Ape and throw her upward. He shouted for Wolverine to catch her. At that moment, Ancient Ape stared anxiously at Lynshen, who was stuck deep in the swamp mud inside the plant. Their dodos were gone, and they couldn't just pull him out with brute force. They needed leverage. Wolverine pointed to a massive tree nearby, suggesting its vines were strong enough to hold Lynshen's weight. Without hesitation, Ancient Ape enveloped herself in golden light, transforming back into her giant monster form. She leaped onto the tree, grabbed a sturdy vine, and threw the other end to Lynshen. He caught it and slowly pulled himself out of the corrosive muck, thanking his luck that the tree was right there. But as he looked closer at the tree, he noticed something horrifying. The branches were covered in animal skeletons, all tangled in the vines. The system pinged a warning. This was a legendary cannibal tree, the most terrifying predator in the swamp of bones. Lynshen screamed for Ancient Ape to get down immediately. Ancient Ape looked up, confused by his shouting. Before she could react, a vine shot out and wrapped around her, dragging her higher into the tree. Wolverine rushed to help, but another vine whipped out and flung him away like a rag doll. Seeing the tree attack his friends, Lynshen gathered a radiant heat beam in his mouth. He aimed carefully and blasted the vine holding Ancient Ape, setting it on fire. The vine recoiled in pain and dropped her, but then something jaw-dropping happened. The vine, acting like it had a brain, plunged itself into the swamp below to extinguish the fire. Even crazier, all the other vines dove into the mud to wet themselves, creating a fireproof shield against Lynshen's attacks. Ancient Ape, furious after landing, charged at the tree and started biting the vines. Lynshen warned her to be careful, but it was too late. The tree shook its soaked vines and whipped them through the air, gathering them into a massive watery fist. Wolverine watched in astonishment as the tree came to life. The giant vine fist slammed down at Ancient Ape. She dodged and punched back, but her hit did nothing against the massive plant. Another fist appeared behind her and slammed into her side, knocking her down. Lynshen was enraged seeing his sister hit. He cursed the tree for knowing combination punches and prepared to burn its hands. But suddenly, a vine shot up from the mud and hit him right in the groin. Lyneshen questioned his life choices as the pain radiated through him. He screamed that the tree was cheating. While Lyneshen and Ancient Ape were immobilized by pain and vines, the tree wrapped them up tight. Lyneshen demanded a fair fight, but the tree ignored him. Wolverine burst into golden light, attempting a gold slash to cut them free. The cannibal tree, showing terrifying intelligence, twisted its vines and used Lynshen's body as a human shield. Wolverine had to slam on the brakes mid-air to avoid slicing his friend in half. His blade barely grazed Lyneshen. Wolverine was stunned. Was this really just a tree? While he was distracted, a giant vine hand formed a flicking gesture and swatted Wolverine away like a fly. Lyneshen tried to use the distraction to fire an explosive breath, but vines wrapped around his mouth, gagging him completely. Soon, Wolverine was captured too. The tree began to tighten its grip, planning to strangle them and drain them dry. Lyneshen felt like he was about to burst. Frustrated, he summoned his system guide, Little Kun, and asked how many evolution points he had. Learning he had 2.1 million, he ordered Little Kun to dump all of them into his height stat. Golden light exploded from his body. As he rapidly expanded, the vines groaned and snapped under the pressure. Lyneshen grew to a colossal 70 meters tall and weighed 700 tons. Ancient Ape and Wolverine watched with their mouths hanging open. Breaking free, Lyneshen fell toward the swamp but adjusted his angle mid-air. He unleashed his most powerful burst breath directly into the tree, blowing a massive hole through its trunk. The recoil sent him crashing into the mud. He wasn't done. He fired another beam, swinging his head to create a light sword that sliced horizontally through the canopy, cutting the vines holding his friends. Ancient Ape and Wolverine fell free. Ancient Ape shouted that she was coming to pull him out of the mud, but Lyneshen stopped her, warning that the monster tree would just catch her again. He yelled at the tree, knowing it could understand him, and threatened to cut it in half if it wanted to keep fighting. Unexpectedly, the tree threw up its vines in surrender and actually spoke. In human language, it shouted, "I give up. No more fighting." The trio was completely shocked. The tree put on a humble act, claiming it never intended to kill them and was just testing their strength, because they seemed different. Lyneshen didn't buy it, accusing the tree of being scared now that he was bigger. The tree retorted that he was still stuck in the swamp and needed its help to get out. Lyneshen scoffed. He declared he had plenty of ways to escape. He activated his giant salamander's cry skill, mimicking a baby's cry. The tree panicked, thinking he was crying because he lost, and told him to stop being a baby. Lyneshen ignored it and listened. "Here it comes," he shouted. A massive giant salamander wobbled out of the fog, muttering about finding a weakling to eat. It looked up and froze. Instead of a baby, it saw a gargantuan ancient ape twirling a vine and smiling mischievously. Realizing it had been tricked, the salamander tried to flee. Ancient Ape stomped on its tail with her size 38 foot. She tied it up effortlessly. Lyneshen kept crying, and more salamanders arrived, only to scream in terror at the giant ape. She captured them all. Lyneshen used the salamanders as a team of sled dogs. He fired a small burst of fire behind them to motivate them. Terrified, the beast pulled with all their might, dragging Lyneshen out of the swamp. Once on shore, Lyneshen shook off the mud. Wolverine marveled at human cleverness. The monster tree was also impressed that he could summon such huge beasts. Lyneshen asked the tree how it could speak and why its vines looked like human hands. The tree pulled a fruit from its branches and asked if he meant this. It was a transformation fruit. Lyneshen realized the tree had absorbed the fruit's flesh, gaining human traits. He asked how a stuck tree got the fruit. The tree proudly pointed to a smaller plant minion, saying it fetched the fruit from a nearby cave. Lyneshen realized that cave was their destination. The tree gave them directions, but warned them to hurry because a group of crabs was moving the fruits out. Lyneshen was puzzled why crabs would want the fruit but didn't waste time. He taught Ancient Ape how to drive the team of salamanders. The monster tree watched them leave, smiling and thinking that these transforming humans might be able to help it someday. Soon, Lyneshen, Ancient Ape, and Wolverine, now riding a chariot of giant salamanders, sped off toward the cave. And that's the end of this episode. If you want the next part, make sure to hit that like button and help us hit 1,000 likes, and I'll drop the next